How are you feeling today? Do you feel fulfilled in life? The show will begin in 4 minutes. Are you ready? When was the last time you felt betrayed? When was the last time you felt loved? The show will begin in 3 minutes. Are you ready? What did it feel like to be in love? What is the most painful part of being in love? The show will begin in 2 minutes. Are you ready? Are you ready to be transformed? Are you ready to make a change? The show will begin in 1 minute. I hope you're ready. The show will begin in exactly 30 seconds. Get ready. Do you want to know exactly how to get a man to spoil you? What if I told you you can get a man to spend all his money on you as long as you never ask him for money. If this strategy sounds confusing, don't worry. On today's show, we're going to be discussing how to get men to spend their money on you. That way, you can live like the spoiled princess you've always fantasized about being. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say here present so that I know you're here present and actively participating. Welcome all you beautiful people to the show. It's so good to see you. So good to spend time with you. How are you guys doing? Who we got up in the chat today? We got Kayla here. We got Rogue here. We got Ryan here. We got Zyra here. Megan is here. Fantastic is here. SH is here. We got Henna here. Francine here. Scotty here. Kitty here. Welcome all you beautiful souls up in the TikTok chat. Who we got in the YouTube chat? I see we got Mary, Olivia, Carmen is here. Ivy, our amazing channel member. We got Johanna, our amazing channel member. Tracy Niles, our amazing channel member. We got Kubi is here. Who else we got? We got Amal is here. Irina is here. Let me scroll up. Let me see who's first up in this chat. Okay, the usual suspects was first up in this chat. And of course, we have Missy America holding down our YouTube chat as our moderator. And SH over there holding down our YouTube chat as our moderator in the TikTok chat. Sorry, our TikTok chat. Sorry. Let's get to it, guys. You know, I don't want to waste any more time. Now, I know this is going to be a very sought after episode because you guys all want to hear my breakdown on how to get a guy to give you money. Now, you guys know I can give you that advice, but you know it's going to be connected to emotions and feelings and all that because I don't believe people are that fickle. But I am still going to get you what your desired result is, which is money. So, ironically, first things first on the docket when we're talking about how to get a man to spend his money on you is emotional connection. Now, I know this can be a little bit disappointing to some of you from the start because you think, Tomisin, look, man, I'm really tired of you talking all about emotions and stuff. Men don't have emotions. They're like vampires. They just suck blood and do nothing else. Tell me a strategy where I can just go up to him, take my hand out like the blue people from Proud Family, and there's money in my hand. That's all I want to know. Don't give me no strategy of emotions. Men don't have those. I can assure you, even the most psychotic, crazy men, the men that will cheat the most, they even have emotions as well. And I promise you, if you want to get a rich man to spend that cash on you, to come out of his wallet for you, even an average regular man to come out of that money for you, you're going to have to connect to his emotions, okay? You need to use your advantages as a woman, okay? You're closer to your emotions, your intuition, all that good stuff. And so a lot of times what you don't realize, we're not going to tell anyone, okay? Don't share this with anyone. One of the secrets you'll learn in the Players Club is one of the best and most amazing, powerful skills you're going to be able to possess by watching the show every day. You'll be able to understand how men work and understand how to plant seeds inside their mind so that they sprout out of those seeds these amazing trees of inspiration and ideas and opinion and perspective that they think is genuine and authentic to them. But we're not going to talk about this. It's actually strategically planted within them by you. Okay? So we're going to get this for you, but you have to stay with me and you have to stick with the strategy here because we're getting somewhere. I know we're talking about money, then we're talking about emotions. I promise you it all works the same. Now, the reason I want to discuss emotional connection, and I'm going to go into a little bit of detail when we're talking about emotional connection. You need to understand what you're doing here is you're trying to figure out how this guy ticks so that you can work him and massage him in the way that works for him. That way, when he does spend his money on you, he feels like it's an authentic feeling of inspiration that he wanted to do for you. There's nothing worse than asking a man or begging him for money, and by the time he gives it to you, he doesn't even feel like you care about him or you're grateful for it or appreciative for it or anything, okay? What the best way to receive money from a man is to make him feel like he gave that to you because that's what he wanted to do. Now, you can be strategic about that. So what I mean by emotional connection, and this is where I want to get into a little bit of detail here. You need to start building an emotional connection with him by asking him about him. Unfortunately, you're not going to build an emotional connection with a guy by getting him to, allowing yourself to yap about what's going on with you. I know that sounds great and it feels great, but it's not going to help. Now, of course, we've talked about asking questions in the past, but let's get specific here about the type of questions you're going to be asking when you're trying to get a man to spend his money on you. See, specifically, you need to be understanding how that man thinks. Okay. And we're going to get to motivations in a little bit. Okay. You need to be understanding how he thinks and how his mind works. So, yes, on yesterday's show, when I talked to you guys about giving positive associations and you want to understand how men tick and how they work in order to give them the proper appreciation in reference or in relation to when he does something for you. This is the same concept. What you want to do when you're building an emotional connection with a man. See, each man is going to be slightly different in the things that make him tick and the way that he thinks. What you need to be getting an understanding of is, okay, where is your mindset at? Right? What is your philosophy on life? How do you work? What are the most important things to you? What are your morals and values? Now, I know some of you are saying, Tomisin, morals and values, what does that have to do with him spending money? I promise you. See, what you're doing here is you're building, not only are you building rapport, but you're building an understanding of how this particular man's mind works. Because what you're going to do with this information, because remember, I talk to you guys all the time, information is king. What you're going to do with this information is you're going to use the information of understanding how his mind works to implant in him seeds and ideas, knowing exactly how those seeds and ideas are going to sprout into the inspiration of, oh, let me do something for this woman. So let's just give a hypothetical example, okay? So let's say in the process of you building an emotional connection with a guy, he tells you all about, I really do like, traditional woman and the traditional marriage where you have stay-at-home moms and things like that. And I'm a very old school type of guy. Okay. Let's just say hypothetically, that's what you start hearing from a guy. And that's the type of rhetoric, I love me a submissive woman, right? I love me a woman that knows how to take care of the household. And I'm like an old soul. You'll hear that from some guys. So as you're building your rapport with him, you're asking him questions, right? You're getting an understanding of how he thinks. Now you're going to take that information. Oh, you're an old soul. You're a traditional man. You like traditional relationships. So now whenever you're approaching the idea of him spending money on you, you're always going to approach it through the avenue of not, hey, give me money. You're going to approach it from the avenue of, oh, what a traditional man you are. Like how back in the day, a big, strong, amazing man would take care of his wife while she stays at home and takes care of the kids. He would go out, make the money. He would make sure his wife's taken care of, get her allowances, shopping spree. Like that is a traditional relationship. And I just love that so much. And I love that you're that way. Do you see what I'm doing there? Okay. See, when you're asking for money, okay, you're not actually going to ask him for money. What you're going to do is you're going to sprinkle in, ironically, sprinkle, you're going to sprinkle in the idea of money through whatever avenue leads to however he thinks, however he feels about life, whatever his philosophy is. That's how you're going to funnel the idea of him spending his money on you. So if he tells you he's an old soul, perfect. You're going to use the concept of being an old soul on how he's going to spend his money on you. If he tells you that, he is a red pill guy, I don't know why he would say if you'd be dating a guy like that, then you use that avenue to get him to spend his money on you. Whatever it is, right? And this is where you have to start getting strategic because every guy is going to be a little bit different. You use whatever philosophy he has in life, to essentially use that as a funnel to help him see the light, if that makes any sense. And when I say see the light, you connect with him, your philosophy, right? And you spending money on me and how those could work together, okay, to get your desired result. Now, of course, I know some of you are immediately going to say, Tomisin, some guys that I meet, they want to go 50-50. And some guys that I meet don't believe in the idea of spending money on a woman and buying her a whole bunch of nice stuff and nice gifts. Here's the thing, though. See, men say that, oh, I want to go 50-50. I don't want to be spending all my money on a woman. But here is the thing. There's always a way to a man's heart, even the ones that try to make I don't spend any money on a woman. I would never do anything for a woman. I promise you, there is a way to every man's heart. Now, it might not necessarily be, so let's say, for example, this guy says, I like going 50-50. But here's the thing. if you can attack another part, I say attack, if you can focus on another part of his heart or emotionally connect with him in another place that works for him, you can still extract money from him or get him to spend money on you as long as you focus on that particular area. So let me give you an example of what I mean. So let's say, for example, a guy's like, yo, I really enjoy 50-50. Right. And I'm not really someone that wants to spend too much of my money on a girl or something like that. But in the process of him talking about that, he then goes on to say, yeah, I am really freaky and I do like to get really freaky. And, I like to have fun, do some stuff in public. I'm like a wild, adventurous guy. Then instead of, ignore the 50-50 thing, you use the wild, adventurous, freaky side of him to essentially extract the same result, which is him getting money out of him, except you go through the avenue of, oh, this is a freaky, adventurous game. You're so spontaneous. Give me $100. Oh, I'm so wet. Now that I have 100, maybe 1,000 would be even better. And see, you can always do this no matter what. So don't get frustrated whenever you're building an emotional connection with the guy. Don't get frustrated thinking to yourself, oh, this guy likes 50-50, so he's not even built to be the type of guy that would spend money on me. As long as he has money, it's possible to extract it out of him. All you have to focus on is what is the avenue I'm going to attack in order to get money from him. I know that this sounds really horrible and really, just the worst thing ever, but I know some of you want to know, how do I get money from a man? So I'm giving you that answer. So you can't say I didn't share with you, because there is a strategy and I'll share it with you. Okay. So does that make sense to you guys so far, right? When you're building that emotional connection, you're building this emotional connection for a very specific reason, not just asking random questions. You're trying to understand how he thinks and what makes him tick. That way you can use that avenue to get access to his heart and then eventually get access to his money. Okay, does that make sense to you guys so far? You're never going to get access to a man by simply just asking him straight off the bat for money. Wow, that was great. That was great water. So one of the worst things you can do, someone says example, please, Cabby, you should probably rewind. I just gave some examples. Okay, so go onto my YouTube. It's right above my head there on the top right corner of the screen, and access this same live stream on YouTube, because I'm live in both places, and I just gave some examples. So when you're building an emotional connection, you want to make sure the last thing you're doing when you're looking for money, the absolute last thing you should be doing, is asking for money. Okay, just right off the bat. You're always going to make a mistake by just coming out and asking him for money. You're going to make it very clear to him that that's all you're here for, and he's going to be on guard. It would be like, just imagine this, okay? So I want to kind of help you understand why you want to drastically change your approach. Imagine a guy coming up to you and saying, oh my God, those really tight pair of jeans make you look so amazing, and your dump truck is so fat, so awesome. I'm literally, the blood is pumping right through all of my veins in between my legs. I would love to jackrabbit myself inside of you right now. Imagine a guy came up to you and said that. And then after that, he said, but let's go out on a date. You want to date me? You'd be like, whoa, you're a weirdo. And now that you told me what your motives are, it's going to put me on guard. I don't think I can trust you. I don't think you're the type of person I want to deal with. And see, just by him coming out and saying, oh, this is my motive, I want to do this and I want to do that, and I just want to sleep with you. Now you're like, whoa, I don't think I really even want to sleep with you. I don't think you're the type of guy I should be sleeping with. So it's the same thing for the men. It's just with money. So when you come out and you're immediately like, hey, give me money, spend money on me, give me cash, I want an allowance. The first thing he's going to say, whoa, who are you? Now that you asked for money, I thought you were cool. I thought you were nice. I thought you looked good. But now that you asked me for a whole bunch of money, I don't even know your last name. Now I'm definitely going to be on guard, and I'm definitely not going to be spending my money on you. Okay, so I want you guys to understand, don't make that mistake with men and think that, oh, if I just show him my dump truck, he'll spend money on me. Okay, this is a little secret that, I know some of you don't know, but some of you might know, because I know I have a wide range of people who watch me. Some of you who, participate in OF, or some of you who haven't, I'll just let you in on a little secret. Even the girls who do OF, okay, you should know what OF is by now. even the girls who do OF, they understand that the ways to extract money from the men that they're dealing with is by building a connection with them and making it feel like, oh yes, we're actually doing a thing and it's me and you and like we're actually going on, right? That's how you extract money from men. It's not by just making it so transactional that they don't feel like they're actually having a connection with you. Okay. Someone says, Gen X says, I don't know what OF is. In the rest of the chat, you explain to Gen X Kim what OF is, chat. Okay, for those of you guys who don't know and are unfamiliar. So I say that to say, understand when you're building emotional, you want to always start with emotional connection before anything. Don't make the mistake of jumping right into talking about money, because remember, you're going to extract that. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Your silly little head. You're going to extract money, but we want to make sure you do that by first getting to his emotions and knowing how to touch his heart. Okay? We're all emotional beings here. So number one was emotional connection. Now, number two is the motivations. So we're focusing a lot on emotions today, even though it's about money, because this will actually help you. You need to understand what motivates him. Okay, so that you can use that information once again to understand how to get him riled up to spending his money on you, because this is a process that's supposed to escalate over the course of time. Yes, you'll have some rich men that can buy you $1,000 gifts on the very first date, but most of the time, the guys you're going to be dating, assuming they're not multimillionaires, are going to be building up on the amount of money they spend on you over the course of time. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But what needs to happen for you in the process of being able to get your money from him and get him to spend money on you, you need to be constantly understanding what motivates him so that you can use, once again, that avenue of motivation to get him riled up and hyped up to spend his money on you. So let me give you an example. If this guy is all about feeling like the man, let's say he has like a huge ego, like a larger ego than most men. And let's just say he always likes to look big and bad in front of his boys. He likes to do it up in front of his boys. He likes for, his boy time to be like, oh yeah, he likes his boys to praise him. He wants to be the group leader. Let's say you're dating the group leader, okay? And the group leader always wants to look like the group leader at all times. So definitely when he's with you and his friends are seeing you, he still wants to have that group leader energy, okay? So what do? And you understand, oh, my man's motivated. He wants to be the group leader. He wants to show off in front of his friends and have his boys be like, oh, damn, you the man. So what do? Right? When I come out with him or I go out with him, I'd be like, nah, you won't believe it. When they seen the bag that you bought me, or when they seen the shoes that you got me, or when they seen the dress that you got me, nah, like they know that they don't have it like you. Like you're just different. You're just different the way that you do it. Now, I was literally telling one of your boys, because he was asking me, he was like, oh, like, are you guys going out somewhere nice? Because I see you got a brand new like diamond necklace. And I was like, nah, honestly, like Jason just bought this for me like off the whim. Like he literally was like, nah, I like this at the store. And you say this in front of him. He's like, you like this at the store? He bought me this neck. Nah, he's just different. He's different. I don't know what got into him. He just like the way he takes care of me is just different. Are you seeing what I'm doing here? Are you seeing what I'm doing here? When you understand, oh, team leader, group leader, he likes to be the man in front of his friends. So what do? I play up the fact that he's the man in front of his friends. What does that do for him? He says, oh, damn. If I want to keep having more and more of these stories about how amazing I am, I got to spend more and more money. I got to make it more extravagant, because I know every time I do something for her, think about this, right? He's going to start putting together every time I do something wild and crazy for her, then she tells her friends, she tells my friends, and I look like the man. There's always a big story time of how I did the last wild thing and spent this money on her and gave her this wild, crazy surprise, and she plays it up and makes a big thing out of it. So he's always thinking, okay, well, now I gotta top myself. I gotta make this a bigger crazy surprise. I gotta make this a bigger crazy thing. And see, you're helping him help you, and everyone wins. He's happy, his ego's happy, he's the group leader, he's the team leader, everyone wins, and you win because you are getting all the stuff that you want, okay? So there's always a way to play things up. You just need to understand what motivates him specifically. Now, of course, I'm giving you that specific example, but with every guy, it's gonna be a little bit different, okay? And the avenue which he wants that to be done, or whatever his motivations are going to be a little bit different. All you have to do is figure out what motivates him, what gets him up in the morning, what gets him excited, what he lives for, and what he really wants and likes the most out of life. Now, obviously, I know some of you are probably asking, well, Tomisin, how do I even find out what motivates a man? One, you're going to be asking questions. So obviously in the process of asking questions and getting to know him, you're going to get a better, because remember, you're going to be listening, observing, receiving, analyzing. So we've already talked about that. That is part of learning and understanding what motivates him. Now, the other thing is obviously going to be observing his actions. So you have to get good. See, you can't just be in la la land in your relationships all the time. I know that, you just want to be passing a princess and turn your brain off and not think about anything, but I want you to understand, when you get strategic about how you go about relationships, that's when you start winning the most. So what I mean by that is, don't just be in la la land. Start observing when he goes out, not just with you, when he goes out with you, or he's at a work event, when he's out with his friends and you, when he's chilling at home, when he's on the phone with his boys. Take notice of how he talks to them. Take notice of what he says to them. Take notice of the things that he spends a lot of his time doing, okay? That's part of the things you want to be learning about the guys that you're dating. Don't just say, oh, I want you to spend time with me doing the things that I want you to do because I like those things and that's how you should spend your time. Start taking notice of, like, okay, if I wasn't around, actually, this is a great question for you to ask guys, or to like get to know them better. Be like, oh, if I just pretend right now, right? So one day when you're with the guy that you like, I want you to do this one day. Pretend I'm not here. Like, show me what you would do, like, throughout the day. Like, what would you be doing? Like, what would you be watching? Like, let's watch some of the stuff that you would regularly watch, or do some of the stuff you would regularly do, like, if I wasn't here. Because what you don't realize is, and this is, actually really important to motivations, what you don't realize is, a lot of times when you start hanging out with the guy, or even building a life with the guy, and you start dating him, his interests and the things that he does slightly change and adjust to best fit you and him being together. Okay? Nothing wrong with that, but you have to understand, a lot of times when you start dating a guy, the things that he might do or spend his time doing when he's with you is a function of what works for both of you. And when you're not around, he might start doing or watching or consuming different things. So if you really want to understand what motivates a guy, you can't just be understanding what he does or how he goes about his life when he's with you. You have to understand how he goes about his life when you're not around. You have to understand how he goes about his life when he's at work. You have to understand how he goes about his life when he's with his guy friends. That way you can understand the whole human being. And for some of you, you'll come to some really crazy realizations when you start seeing how your man actually lives his life outside of just you and your relationship with him. And that can be very insightful for you to understand what truthfully motivates him. Not what, the way he wants to present himself for you and in this relationship, just that, but what actually motivates him outside of you for himself as an individual. Once you start observing those things, his motivations will become so much more clearer to you. Then you know what avenues to attack in order to get him to spend money on you. Are you following what I'm saying? Okay. So let's even give another example. Let's say your man's really into football. He loves football so much. Okay. And football is just like the most amazing thing. He spends all his time watching football. He goes to football games. He pays crazy money for tickets. He's a season ticket holder, whatever it may be. He loves football. Now, see, this is where you attack the avenue. See, when I'm giving you these examples, it'll start becoming real easy and obvious to you. Your man loves football, right? That's one of the things that motivates him, gets him up in the morning. He loves it so much. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to say, babe, I love going to football games with you so much. This one purse I have, though, is so heavy. It's so cumbersome. Every time I take it, I just feel like I'm never able to bring the stuff I actually want. I wish I had a bigger purse, because I know when you're at the game, you like those particular wipes sometimes because you get really sweaty, and then, you get, you want the deodorant. Yeah, I know you like the gel one, right? Because the stick one gets the white on your shirt. And I like to make sure that I'm bringing all the stuff I just wish I had a bigger bag, because if I had a bigger bag, I'd be able to bring all the stuff that you need. And you know how you like me to sneak some of those snacks in, right? I wish I could sneak. Imagine if we could bring that my homemade chili, and I could put it in my bag and we could sneak it into the stadium. Oh my God. but I don't have any bags that size that look, like athletic wise and, just kind of still look stylish. It's tough. It's tough. If I had one, I definitely do it. I got to figure out a way to do it. Right. Are you getting it now? Are you seeing it now? Okay. You've now merged him getting you something with football. So it's not about, oh, I'm just going to buy you something for the sake of buy. No. This is the problem. And oh my God, the bag, it's not big enough. But the bag is bigger. I can do this for you and I can do that for you. And look how much easier our lives would be if I had just a little bigger bag, right? As some of you are like, that sounds like manipulation. It is. Okay. It is. But you're understanding how to get him to do something for you by doing something for him. So there's an exchange here, right? It doesn't make it a crime because you're helping him connect how you doing something for me can actually simultaneously help you. That's actually called mutual benefit, okay? In business, right? In the business world, that's exactly what all, business is based off of, right? Mutual benefit. There's something in it for me and there's something in it for you. So when there's something in it for both of us, really nobody loses. I'm just making it clear to you how there's something in it for both of us, okay? Didi says a win is a win, okay? Hannah says, but do guys catch on to us manipulating them because I feel like it's obvious? Well, think about it like this. Even if he does catch on to it, the benefit doesn't change. So in the example that I just gave you guys about like, okay, if your guy loves football, you make a case for like, well, if I had a bigger bag, I could bring this for you and bring that for you, and it would be a better experience for both of us, right? Even if he says, oh, you just want me to buy you a better bag. See, the funny thing about it is even when they can acknowledge that, oh, you're trying to get a better bag, they still appreciate the fact that the reasoning you're giving or presenting for getting him another bag is through an avenue that he already appreciates. So you want to go to the football game with him and he loves that. He's not going to unlove football, and you want to spend time with it. He loves that. And in the process of that, there's something that would make the experience even better and easier going for both of you. And he can't deny that, because if that's actually true, see, this is why you use it through an avenue that actually is truthful and honest and actually benefits him. Because when you present the benefit that way, it's not like he can say, oh, you're just doing that to get a bag. Well, sure, but wouldn't it actually benefit you if I had a bigger bag and I could bring more stuff that you need, that you use at the games? Yeah. So it's kind of manipulative, but it's still true. It's actually still very true. And see, a lot of times, and this is the weird part, okay? Because remember, this guy's supposed to be like your partner. It's not like he's someone against you or that's going to get so, oh my God, the fact that you would even say this is the worst thing on it, right? And so a lot of times when you can put this through an avenue of something that he cares about and present it in a way that benefits both of you, even if it's just, oh, the benefit is, oh, this is our little thing or whatever, which we're going to get to, you can always soften the blow. So even if he were to catch on to it, he still says, well, I mean, if you did have it, the bigger bag, you could be able to get me this and bring that in and I'll get you the bigger bag. Who cares, right? Because he feels like even if I'm doing it for you, I'm still doing it for me and I'm doing it for both of us. We both win. Okay. That's the thing about a situation where two people are benefiting, right? And see, a lot of times you can always kind of massage whatever it is that you're looking for, that you need, into something that can benefit the both of you. You just have to start getting strategic about doing that, which is why I told you first you want to understand the emotional connection, and then number two, you have to understand the motivations. Okay. Can you give another example? I've given you guys multiple examples. Okay. I want you at this point, right, to start understanding what I'm trying to say and the concept that I'm breaking down. All you have to do is plug and play exactly what I said to any situation that you're in. Okay. So whether it's football, if it's basketball, if he's a workaholic, whatever it is, you take that motivation, you take that thing that he's constantly doing and spending his time with, and you figure out whatever it is that you're looking for, right? You implant whatever it is you're looking for, and then you start doing the work of connecting the two, how they can merge where it can benefit him in the avenue that he spends his most time interested in, and the avenue that actually benefits you as well, and how that will benefit both of you in your relationship. All you have to do is make that connection. Then what you do, okay, so after you identify the emotional connection, right, then you get the motivations. Okay. Then number three, what you want to do is create a problem. So notice in the example that I gave about football and the example that I gave before about, the guy being a team leader. you want to create a problem out of the thing that you're looking for. Okay. So more than just, excuse me, I would always advise you, more than just asking for cold hard cash, get him to spend his money on you with a gift or an item that you actually need or want. So whatever you are going to buy with that cash, right? You're better off just figuring out how to create a problem around the item that you are going to spend that money on. Okay. Why? Because the gift will always feel to him more genuine than just giving you and handing you cash. So a lot of times when you're asking, when you guys want a guy to spend your money on him, you don't just you want him to give you money, but you're going to take that money and buy something with it. So look ahead to the thing you're looking to purchase with the money that he's going to give you, and then figure out how you can connect those items or that item to the issue or create a problem out of it. So excuse me, let me give you guys an example of exactly what I mean, right? When we're talking about create a problem. So in the example that I gave about football, and where you're saying, oh, I could use a bigger bag that can hold more stuff, that's a little bit more cozy, that's a little bit, better. And if I had a bigger bag, then I could be able to bring more stuff, and you'd be happy, and I'd be happy, and everyone would be happy, right? So what you're doing is you're creating a problem out of the fact that you're not able to carry enough lipstick and deodorant and tissues and wipes and everything that he needs in your bag with you to the stadium when you guys go, because you guys are there every week. He loves football. And you're creating that problem so that he can then see, this is the thing. And this is where I come in for you to try to help you, because the way that men's minds work is that they're constantly trying to problem solve. Their natural instinct, especially when their woman presents to them a problem or an issue that she's struggling with, they want to, like Kitty just said, they like to help. Assuming this guy likes you, okay? This is under the assumption this guy likes you and he's interested in you and he wants to build with you and all that good stuff. Assuming he likes you and all that, he's going to be naturally inclined when you have a problem to want to help you, to want to fix your problem, fix your issue, and problem solve. So as soon as you create a problem, naturally to the guy that likes you, he's going to say, oh, well, I know how I can fix your problem. Or his mind's going to start pondering on the things that he can do to help you fix your problem. That's good. That's exactly what you want. You want that guy's mind pondering on how can I fix your problem? Because as soon as he starts thinking that way, that's when you can start getting the things that you want. And remember, we're trying to focus on creating a problem specifically surrounded in an avenue that he already spends his time and something that already motivates him. That way he can make the connection and he can feel like he's solving your problem in a way that also helps him. So you're getting a bigger bag that you can wear literally anywhere, but you're also getting a bigger bag so that you can bring more stuff in it to the football game so that you have more stuff for both of you. Mutually beneficial. You've just created a problem now. It's obvious how the problem gets solved, but you just leave it, okay? When you create the problem, you're going to lay the problem out, right? And you're, going to pretend like, oh, I don't know the solution. I wish I knew the solution to being able to bring more stuff in my small, small bag. I just can't think of the solution to bring more stuff in my small, small bag. It's so small. It's so teeny, teeny, tiny. I don't know how to fix my problem. I wish a big, strong man could fix my problem. Okay, you play it up. Oh, it's a big problem. I don't know how to fix it. He's going to say, I'm a big, strong man. I'm smart and capable. I'm a big dog. You hear how they say it on TikTok, girl? I'm a big dog. Yeah, big in the pants, big in the everything. Okay, big in the mind, all that. I've got a solution for you, girl. You wouldn't have even guessed this. How about I buy you a bigger bag? I know you weren't thinking of that. I buy you a bigger bag. You got a bigger bag to take to the stadium. You can fit all the lipstick, chapstick, wipes, deodorant, food that you want in the bag. They don't call me a big dog for no reason around here. It's like I'm a Rubik's Cube, really. I be solving problems left and right. I don't even know how. It just comes to me. Oh my God, my big strong man. You're such a big dog. My legs are shaking. I'm quivering. How can you be so smart? I couldn't think of that. I had a teeny, teeny, tiny purse. Oh my God, it was so small and I didn't know how to fix my problem. And you came along and you fixed my problem. Now I have a big, nice designer bag. What would I do without you? It's easy. Okay? It's easy. You just have to understand how to massage it. Okay, you create that problem, pretend like you don't know how to solve it, pretend like you don't know what the solution is, let him ponder on the solution. When he likes you, okay, this is assuming the guy likes you and is invested in you, okay? He'll naturally want to solve the problem to the best of his abilities, obviously. A guy who doesn't even have $1,000 in his bank account is not going to buy you $1,000 bank. This is obviously going to be, him fixing your problem is obviously going to be relative to how much money he actually has available. But assuming you're dating a guy with disposable income, he'll ponder on it and he'll figure out how to solve your problem in the best way that he can, okay? And then you're going to show him the appreciation for it and it'll all be good. Trust me, okay? Kitty said damsel in distress. Yes, sometimes you have to understand to get what you want, you got to give him something in return. So sometimes you got to make, well, sometimes, a lot of times you're going to want to make your man feel like the big, strong, capable man for solving your problem. That's you giving him something in return for doing something for you. There's always an exchange in life. Don't ever get it confused. In everything, even in relationships, there's an exchange, even when it's emotional. So you're giving him some of that emotional energy and appreciation. It'll make him feel like a big, strong man when he does something for you, but you're happy also. Everyone wins. Don't ever think that in order for you to get a man to spend money on you, it has to be manipulation in the sense where you're the only one that wins. He can win also, because by the time you do that for him, and he feels good and he feels like the man for doing that for you, he feels like a big dog. When his confidence is through the roof, I promise you, his PP will be harder. You'll get a lot better of him. You'll get a lot more manly man of him when you start doing that for him as well. And you're also getting something in return. So everyone wins that way, okay? It doesn't have to be one person winning or the other. Does that make sense to you guys so far? And I really mean that. I really mean that. I know it's funny, but I really mean that, right? Okay. Now, remember, I told you guys at the very beginning, this is all predicated on the idea that you're building an emotional connection with him first and you're understanding what motivates him first, right? Because we want this to be established before you start having all these problems and issues that require solving, okay? You can't just be coming up to a guy that you haven't made an emotional connection with and being like, I have this problem and I have that problem and this problem and that problem, because then when you do that, it's just going to seem like, oh, you just came to me like a bank account, like I'm supposed to, save your life, and then you're just going to run off into the distance, right? You don't want it to be like that. You want to build that emotional connection with him first, get to know him, get to understand him, build his comfort with you, make him feel safe around you, talking about himself and his life and what he wants and all his traumas and stuff like that. Then you start coming with the problems and the issues that need to be solved. And I promise you, you'll get what you want, okay? And he'll also get what he wants by feeling like the big, strong man. Okay, so emotional connection, number one. Number two is the motivations. Number three was to create a problem. And number four is let's play a game. Okay. For those of you who are under 20 years old, please exit the chat. Okay. This is not for you. I don't want you thinking about this. I don't want to be responsible about your mind going here. Okay. Go read a book. Go study Pythagorean theorem. This is your time to exit the show. Okay. For the rest of you who are 20 years old and older, when I talk about let's play a game, this is something really interesting that you can do for guys, even the guys who are like, oh, this is 50-50. Okay. You can make your problem and your issue a KINKS, or it's KINK in this case, okay? What I mean by that is you can turn it into a game where it's like, when you do this thing for me, the things that it does to me, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to control myself around you. Because when you treat me like that, and I get a big, strong man in my life like this that can take care of me so well, it just does something for me. Now, listen to me very carefully. Listen to me very carefully. Listen to me very carefully. I'm not saying that anytime a guy buys you something, your mind should be automatically thinking about how to reward him with pineapples, with sex. What I'm saying is make it a game where it's like, oh, don't do that. Because when you do that, you do something to me. You don't have to promise him I'm going to sleep with you. You don't need to do that. You don't need to make promises. You just make it seem, you just need to make the connection that, oh, don't be a big, strong man like that, because that's going to do something to me. And I don't know how I'm going to feel about that after you do that. You can even play it up in a way where you're using reverse psychology. But no, don't spend that $2,000. If you buy me that dress, listen, I don't want to, we're in the store. And I don't want to do anything crazy to you in the store. We're in a public place. You know I'm a lady. I don't like to act a fool up in the store and up in public. Don't buy me that dress. We're going to have a problem. Okay? You can use a lot of reverse psychology. You're going to be like, oh, you thought we had a problem before. Wait till you see how, I'm about to spit. What you want? You want the red one or the blue one? I like you in red. I might even get the nude one too. Nah, I'm getting all three. I'm getting you trying to play with me. You trying to play with me. You think it's a game. The cash app in your account right now. How about that? Okay, right? So, and I say that to say, you can make it a game, right? And you can make it a fun game, right? Where it's like, oh, please, I don't want you to do that to me. Because when you do that to me, I don't know how I'm going to feel. And if I feel like that, I don't know how I'm going to act. I don't want to act a fool up in here. Okay. And you can make it a fun little thing. There's nothing wrong with having a little fun. Remember, like I said, of course, the show is titled How to Get Men to Spend Their Money on You. But you don't have to think that everything has to be like, oh, I get something and he gets nothing. Do you understand what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be like that. It can be the experience of him spending his money on you can be something that's fun for both of you. Understand that. Okay. So I don't even want any of you to feel bad when you're using these strategies. Like, oh, Tomisin taught me these strategies, but I feel like a bad person by using these strategies on him. Right? Because you have to realize by the time you actually do these things right, you make it a game, you make it fun, you make it adventurous, and you make him feel appreciated like the man for spending his money on you. He's actually going to enjoy the concept and enjoy the experience of spending his money on you. It's not like he spends his money on you and he's left like in the desert with a dry mouth, white on his lips, like, oh my God, I have nothing now since I spent his money. And he feels good about it. He feels happy about it. And he feels like the man because of it. And you know what that does to his PP? It makes it stand straight up. So now you get an even more manly man in bed that can last more than 90 seconds because you play all this up and you do all this stuff to make him feel like the man. He gets you something. You feel happy. He feels happy because he feels like the man, and everyone's happy. Okay? Right? And like I said earlier, that doesn't mean that you have to promise him to sleep with him anytime he buys you a bag or buys you some shoes or something like that. What I'm saying is you can make it a fun little game that's a little bit, actual, that you got, my blood's flowing now, right? And you can connect it to that. Because we all know, of course, men, they get hyped up too, they get horned up. So if you can start making it like a KINK, that when he gets you something, there's like a little tension going on between you guys. Now you just made the idea of every time he gets horned up, now he's thinking about spending money on you because it's like a horned up little fantasy that you guys have with each other. I know it sounds manipulative, but trust me, you get what you want. Okay? I'm always trying to help you get what you want and get what you're looking for, right? And that's what I want to do for you guys in this show today. Does that make sense to you all so far? Okay, right? Kitty says foreplay. Yeah, it's like foreplay. Okay, your strategic foreplay, and you're doing it for a reason to try to help him connect the idea of you guys being fun and spontaneous and having your little, KINK S's and your little fun in a way that also benefits you because you get something for it in return. Okay, doesn't mean you have to do anything for him. Doesn't mean you have to get on your knees, but you can still make it a fun little fantasy that you guys play out. Okay, just be strategic about how you do that and how you present that. Okay, play into like your, play into like your energy. Okay, your sexy energy. Right, you have to be confident in yourself to be able to do this, but play into your sexy energy, give him some of that, mistress energy. Ooh, you want to spend your money on me, figure out how to touch him in the right places and whisper it to him, like make it something fun. Like, then it becomes fun for both of you. It doesn't have to be like a painful process where you make it like you're holding a gun to his head and you're like, hey, spend your money on me right now or else, right? It can be fun and a fun experience for everyone. Okay, does that make sense? So, number one was the emotional connection. Number two, the motivations. Number three, you create a problem. Number four, let's play a game. And number five, we want what we're going to describe as the emotional reward. Okay. So what I mean by the emotional reward, I've talked about this in previous shows, where you're always making sure to take care of the fact that you want your man to feel appreciated for doing something for you. So you have to make sure that there's an appropriate amount of appreciation that comes after. So even aside from the game, even aside from, creating the problem and stuff like that, you always want to make sure there is like what we would describe for you. This is in the term that you can understand, aftercare. Okay. So you know how you like aftercare whenever you and a guy get, down and dirty and you like him to feel loved and cherished still, especially after, he calls you names and slaps you in the face and does all the stuff that you're into. That emotional reward afterwards for the men is like aftercare. Okay. For those of you guys who said it's glitching, it should be fine now, because I see on my end that the Wi-Fi is fine. I can see it down here. If it's still glitching for all of you, then let me know. Okay. But so on my end, it looks like it's fine now. So, but you want to make sure that you have this emotional reward, right? And make sure that you're doing aftercare whenever a man spends money on you. Why? Because you want to make sure that the guys in your life that is spending his money on you, you want to make sure that he constantly leaves with the impression that, hey, I feel good about spending my money on you. Okay. That's his version of aftercare. You don't just want him to spend his money on you, and the last impression he has after spending his money on you is, I feel not loved, I feel taken advantage of, I feel manipulated, and I feel like that's all she wanted from me because I don't get that same love or care after I spend that money on her. You always want to make sure you take care. So actually, we can call this not even emotional reward. Let's call this last point aftercare instead, because it's so important to make sure that that is the lasting impression you make him feel after he spends money on you. That way, the next time, because he's not just going to spend his money on you one time. This process is going to repeat itself all over again throughout the course of your relationship, right? So you want to make sure that he's always associating the last thought that he has after spending money on you with a good, positive feeling and emotion, right? So when I mean aftercare, so this is exactly how you're going to go about it for men, right? Whenever let's say in the example that I gave with the bag and the lipstick that he gets for you because, you guys go to football games and you need something bigger to bring to the football game so you can fit all the stuff that you need. He gets you the bag. Excuse me. You guys go to that first game. Later that night, okay, after you made it a fun thing and, because that's all kind of during the experience. I still want you to come back, and after the whole experience is over at the end of the night, I want you to sit him down. I want you to tell him, look, I appreciate you so much for getting me this bag. I know for you, it's probably not a big deal. You just get me stuff just because you're that guy. And so I know it doesn't seem like a huge deal to you, but I really appreciate it, and I appreciate how you take care of me, and you're always looking out for my best interest and trying to put your best foot forward in our relationship, right? You're giving him good boy encouragement, right? You're treating your guy a little bit like a dog. You want to make sure you give him that lasting experience, because when he lays his bed down on that pillow, it's like aftercare, okay? So when he lays his head down on that pillow and he's rethinking to the whole day, he's thinking about everything that transpired. Oh, damn, I did spend $1,000 on that bag for Christina, but she made me feel so good about it, and she's so happy, and we have such a great relationship, and she appreciates it so much, and she said I take such good care of her, and I do try my best, right? And the last thing he remembers just before he drifts off into sleep is what an amazing experience it was doing something nice for her. So then he wakes up the next morning, and then he can do it all over again, because that is the last thing he remembers. Someone said finish him. That is the last thing he remembers of giving and doing something nice for you. So the experience it's easy for it to happen all over again when you leave him with that lasting experience. It's just like aftercare. Someone said, wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy. Does that make sense to you guys? Does that make sense to you guys? So that is kind of the whole strategy there, right? So we had number one, which was the emotional connection, the motivations number two, creating a problem number three, let's play a game, which was number four, and the emotional reward number five. Okay. Do you guys have any questions about the five we discussed? And by the way, if you came late and you're like, oh, please repeat all of them, they're all available on my YouTube page. I'm live at the same time as I'm live on TikTok. So if you're on TikTok and you want to rewatch them, you can always find them on my YouTube page and just rewind it there. Go into the live section. All right. Does that make sense? Okay. So let's go into our, thank you so much to, let's see here. Joanna donates $20 in the YouTube chat. Joanna says, what if he says he's used to me? We've been intimate occasionally for 6 years, and he's very stingy. What is the best game strategy to start with? So I would advise for you to start with whatever interests him. So in 6 years, you definitely should know what he likes to spend the most of his time doing. Then what you're going to do is you're going to start by figuring out something that he can do for you in terms of spending his money on you, that can actually be related to something that he's really interested in. So let's just say, hypothetically, the guy that you're really into loves real estate. I don't know, whatever it may be. And he likes showing people houses or whatever it may be. And you know, let's say you or him are living together for 6 years and you really want a new car. You can play it up like, hey, if you got this new Tesla, I know that, you know, it's something that would look really nice as a real estate agent, and I'm sure that's part of your image, right? And I feel like an electric car would be a really nice look on you. And of course, we'd both be able to use it, and of course, you'd be able to take it to work. But I just think that that would be something really beneficial for you. I know the car you're driving right now is really old, and you've had it for a while, but I definitely think you got a new one that would definitely be like a nice little vibe and things like. So you get my point. Obviously, you don't need to ask for a car first things first, but whenever you're thinking of the thing that you want, right, even if it's something small, figure out how to connect it to something that he's already doing. Okay. Now, it doesn't have to be a car in real estate, but you get my point, right? You want to connect it with something that he's already doing. If he's very stingy, try and start smaller. Try and start smaller and then build up. Now, if your man is so stingy that he don't want to get you nothing and he's been dating you for 6 years, then that's kind of a different story. If that man won't even buy you a pack of gum and he's counting pennies, then you might be at a point where there's just not feasible to continue the relationship. Not saying you should break up with him, but like, if you're in a relationship, your man should want to do some things for you. And of course, everything that we talk about here is under the preface that the guy you're in a relationship with likes you, wants to spend time with you, wants to make you happy. So you use the avenue of the fact your man wants you, cares about you, and wants to see you happy to get what you want. You understand what I'm saying? Now, not saying that, Joanna, you're in this situation, but for those of you who are like, oh, the guy I'm with wouldn't buy me literally a pack of gum. You have to understand, I'm not a magic worker. I can give you a strategy that works on real human beings, but I can't take a man who doesn't want to do anything for you, make you happy, and doesn't care about you to spend money on you. Not saying, Joanna, you're in that specific situation, but like there is like a threshold where a guy has to want to do something for you so you can get him to do something for you. If your man doesn't want to do anything for you, that's very difficult. That's very difficult. Okay. But that might not be your situation. You probably just want to figure out what he's motivated by and then connect the two so that you can start building up over time, him doing more and more for you. Okay. It's also, you know, in the way that you approach it. And remember, like I said, when I talked about let's play a game, you can also make it a fun little thing. Even if you want to make it, you know, actual, you know, want to make a little KINK, right? You can make it a fun little thing that's even unrelated to like real estate or whatever he's into. I promise you, for 99% of men, that will work. If you can make it a fun little KINKY, you know, and, you know, like a little thing that you guys do. Oh, you know, when you spend that thing, when you buy me that thing, I feel like a stripper. When you buy me those heels, I feel like a stripper. I feel like I want to walk in the house with nothing but my pantyhose on and those new heels that you bought me, and I want to walk like a model for you. Just for you. Come on. I'm a guy and I'm giving you this advice. This is stuff I shouldn't even be giving. They would off me if they knew I was giving you this advice, okay? Do that. Whatever you, I want to model. Anytime, this is the thing, okay? This is a little side note I'll give to some of you. Anytime it has anything to do with clothes, shoes, right? Even bags, purses, whatever, anything you can put on your body, I want to model it for you. Oh, I want to do a little runway show for you. Oh, I want to wear this just for you. Oh, it makes me feel so, I feel like a stripper. Oh my God, I feel so hot. I feel so sexy. Easy. And actually do it though. Actually model it for him though. Actually, when you guys get home, do a little strut. If you want to do your strut naked, you feeling a little freaky, do your strut naked, okay? Put some baby oil on yourself, no diddy, okay? And walk around the house in those heels that he bought you. Make it fun. Because he's going to remember that. And the next time he sees a nice pair of heels that you want, he's going to be fumbling and stumbling his wallet. Be like, oh God, I got to get those. I got to get another pair of those. I got to do that again. I want to see her oiled up walking around the house. Okay. Right? I'm serious though. Make it a fun little thing. You have to follow through with it though. Make it a fun little thing. But I promise you, anytime it's getting you something that you put on, that's the easiest thing. I want to model it for you. I want to do this for you. I want you to see me in it. I'm wearing it just for you. Simple. That's like 101. I know we're in class 101, but like, yeah, that's like 101. Okay. Anytime you want, it's something you can put on, make it. I want to wear it for you. I want to model it for you. And then actually do that. Oil yourself up if you have to, and do it. Okay. Very easy. Oh, Gabby says, LOL, what's Diddy? English is my second language. You don't want to know. Okay. I'm just ignore. Just ignore me. Okay. When I say no Diddy, ignore me. Okay. Baby oil. If you want to put baby oil on, if you want to strut around the house, whatever you want to do, make it a little fun, make it a little freaky. Everyone can be happy. Okay. Ambi says, do you say this in the store? Well, you can say it wherever, right? You can say it in the store if you're trying to get him to like buy it for you in the store, obviously. But you can say it at any time, right? Just as long as you make it fun, wherever you say it, it doesn't really matter that much. But obviously, if you're trying to get him to get it for you like right then and there, then you would want to say it in the store, right? But you definitely can make it fun. And the thing about it is, when you start strategizing on how to make it fun, it also becomes fun for you. So the experience of getting money from him doesn't even become like work for you. It just becomes like a fun little game that you play with him. He has fun, you have fun, and everyone enjoys the experience. So don't think that because the show is titled How to Get a Man to Spend Money on You, that it's meant to all just be, oh, it's all for you and he's not going to have any fun and we're going to take advantage of him. Because at the end of the day, the experience for him can also be just as fun, and it's even better when it's just as much fun for you as well. Scotty says, I don't know what OF means. The chat will tell you what OF means, okay? If you didn't already know, okay? Jamila said earlier, she said, should a girlfriend buy something for the BF? If you're his, I always have to make this very clear. If you're his girlfriend, meaning that when he goes out into the world and he meets other girls and other people, he acknowledges himself to be your boyfriend, and you're his girlfriend and everyone's aware of that. Yes, then you can buy him a little something. Okay, doesn't mean you have to empty your wallet for him, but of course you can buy your boyfriend a gift. We don't have to be like, it doesn't have to be that stingy, but you don't want to be. The reason I say that is because sometimes I know some of you, when you say boyfriend, you don't really mean boyfriend. You mean the guy I like, but he's not acknowledging himself to be your boyfriend. That's why I always like to make that distinction. Okay, a guy that acknowledges himself to be your boyfriend, that's the guy you spend some money on or you buy a gift if you want. It's not a required thing. Madeem says, start making him pay for KINKY things. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to think of it like that. I mean, of course, that's what it actually is. But you in your mind also want to think of it like a fun fantasy thing that you're doing. Because when you're thinking of it as a fun little fantasy adventure game, you'll give off that type of fun fantasy adventure game energy. Because if you're thinking, oh, I'm just making you pay, You got to spend the money or else, then you're going to give off that energy. And see, then you'll be very frustrated if he doesn't just come out and like buy the thing for you the first time you ask. You understand what I'm saying? And then your energy will be off, and then the experience won't even be a fun experience, for him as well, because he'll be like what's your problem? Like, you don't even seem like you're happy at all. It just seems like, oh, buy me the thing right now or else. And that's not an experience that he's going to want to have again or multiple times, or even feel enticed to like do the thing for you, right? You want your own energy to be like, so create some fun out of it for yourself as well. And this is the thing, actually, I'll give you guys this little tidbit of advice that's actually very important. Figure out how to find something within him that you find hot and sexy as well, and focus on that if you need to get yourself riled up in your mind, right? Enough to like be in that place, to make it a fun little fantasy game, okay? So don't be doing stuff that makes you see your guy and gives you the ick. Put yourself in a position where you can actually see your man as the man, and whatever his field in that he's like the best in or the most capable in, or whatever you find the hottest and sexiest about him in general, put yourself in that position so that when you're asking for the thing or you're making it a fun little thing, you can actually be like turned on yourself. Because what's going to happen is when you do this right, I told you, if you're under 20, get out of here. When you do this right, you're going to start turning yourself on while you're doing this and in this kind of energy. And when you're turning yourself on, you're going to be more turned on. So you're going to be more seductive. He's going to be more seduced by you, and it's all going to work very properly. I promise you. Okay. Don't ask me how I know. I just know from a lot of experience. So you'll be more turned on, and it'll be good because then the energy that you're exuding will be more seductive, and then it'll just be more of a game. So when you're with him, you want to make sure that you allow yourself to see him through the lens or the avenue of a thing that actually turns you on about him. Okay. If that makes any sense. For those of you who are older, you know what I mean. For those of you on the younger side, don't even worry about it. Okay. Ambi said getting excited just thinking about it. Perfect. Okay, perfect. All right. Right. Kubi says, my intrusive thoughts, tell him if I had this outfit, I would knock the lights out tonight. That night pulls out about boop, night. Yeah. So like I said, anytime it's outfit, shoes, right? Especially heels, right? Heels, dress, anything that you put on or you wear. Just be like, I'll model it for you. I'll wear it for you. I'll do a little runway thing for you when we get home. Like, I'll go up and down. It really makes it feel like, oh, this is for me. This is our little fantasy. This is our little thing. So the dress doesn't even represent the monetary value of the dress anymore. It just represents a little game that you're playing that you guys can have some fun with. Do you understand what I'm saying? And it's the same kind of concept as I was talking about earlier. You just figure out how to funnel what you're wanting, right, to get, right, the gift or whatever, how to funnel it through an avenue that he actually cares about or would enjoy himself. And then at that point, it just becomes, whatever avenue he was going to enjoy. And it doesn't become about how much the dress is or how much the bag or the heels are, right? It's the fun experience with you and him. Okay, does that make sense? Someone says, will the live be up after the stream? 100%. Always up after the stream. All right. All right, guys, let's hop into our next segment here where we react to TikTok videos around the internet. All right. So spam up your camera emojis, spam up your headphone emojis, and we are going to... You guys are nasty in the chat. We are going to get right into our react segment of the show. All right. Let's see here what we got. Oh, by the way, if you guys want to send me some things to react to, you can always do that. The way that you're going to send me some stuff to react to is either by sending it to me on TikTok, mentioning me on TikTok, or you can put it in our Tomisin React section on Discord, or do it like that. I've seen some people DM me, but I have a lot of DMs, so it's hard for me to check all of those, all right? But mention me on TikTok or send me in Tomisin Reacts. Okay, so let's do our first one. Let me make sure I didn't skip any. I tried to reorder these. Okay, let's do this one.
This is for all my ladies out there.
What is going on? Look at me. Look at me. I don't even got it up on the screen. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right, chat. Let's get into it. Where'd she go? There we go.
This is for all my ladies out there. If you are dating a man with a beard, before you get married, I'm talking about within the first maybe 6 months of dating, right? Make sure he shaves it off. He can grow it back. I'm not even trying to say shave it off forever, but you need to see what he looks like without that beard. Because one day, God forbid, you're married and you've never seen him without a beard, and he decides, well, you know what, I'm done with this beard. Shaves it off. Then a stranger walks in the room. A stranger. You're breaking down because you don't know who that is. Your child is crying because she didn't even recognize Dada, and the whole family structure just falling apart. And men look so different. They look so different without their beards. So you know what? I know it's like shaving your head. You really don't have to shave your beard, but you know, it's all jokes before the banging in my comments and like, the reality is, you and I both know you look different without a beard. You look extremely different without a beard. Lord forbid, I just want to see what's up under there. I just want to see what it's looking like. Y'all seen that one Grey's Anatomy episode or whatever where he shaved his beard off and there was the little symbols on here. So let me see what you're looking like. Okay, this is for all my ladies out there.
Sorry, make sure that you know the whole them. Sorry, I was muted. Make sure that you know the whole them, not just the nice little man that you see on Saturday nights that you like to spend your time with. Make sure that you know him for who he is all around. It's fun being with someone on a Saturday night, slurping up spaghetti, you have spaghetti sauce all over your face, but you also want to make sure that you know the entire human being, not just the version that looks amazing on that Saturday night there, okay? So I know I make stuff way deeper than it has to be, but that's what makes me think when she's talking about, oh, make sure you know and see him without his beard, right? It's kind of like the same concept. Make sure you know and see a guy through and through, meaning you go through the range of emotions with him. See him when he's stressed, when he's happy, when he's sad, all of the things, so that you know for sure you really know that guy, not just, know him when, you guys are having fun there, okay? Let's go to our next one.
Men don't fall in love through sex. They fall in love through the promises that they make and then keep to you. Now I'm about to give you a whole science lesson because...
Okay, Julie about to give us a science lesson. Let's see what Julie got to say.
You guys are out here getting it wrong and you're hurting yourself because of it. Now, women do fall in love through sex. That's why whenever you hear someone like, oh, no, it's going to be casual, I don't actually like him, like I'm going to be a player too, biochemically that's really hard because we release oxytocin. Oxytocin is your bonding chemical. It's why you feel close after sex. It's why you feel close during cuddling. Us women be firing off that oxytocin like crazy when we're in love. It's why he was kind of okay at first and now you're like, he's literally a shit and I am so in love. Men release some levels of oxytocin after sex, but it's actually not what bonds them to someone. What bonds them to you, that commitment level, is vasopressin. So what happens in the beginning, though, they are releasing testosterone. Testosterone is their pursue behavior. That's why, girlfriend, do whatever you want, but if you're wanting a guy to commit to you, sleeping with him in the beginning isn't the smartest thing too, because guess what? His levels of testosterone are the highest when pursuing, you get what you want, they just drop, which means right after sex, if it's in the beginning, he actually likes you less, unless vasopressin is released. But men have to develop vasopressin receptors for that to happen, and those take time to build. Testosterone does not create commitment. To them, it peaks, dips, okay, now they have to go find that thing that peaks their testosterone again. They already got the conquest over there. Say men fall in love through the commitments they make and keep because this is more of a sign of a vasopressin release. The other sign of vasopressin release is mate guarding behavior. That is very much, these are my resources, you cannot have them because I care about them. This chemical takes time to develop, but it's also the reason if you keep sleeping with someone who treats you like shit, who keeps breaking their promises to you, who breaks their commitments to you, who does not seem to care to commit to you, the vasopressin is not going to be meant for you. You cannot sleep your way with a guy into making him care. That's not how it works. And it's going to work the reverse for you if you're a woman, because you are going to be releasing all this oxytocin and you're going to be the one going through that heartbreak. And that shit's going to suck. Men don't fall.
Someone said, what's this creator's name? Her name is Julie Thesis. Go on my YouTube stream, because for those of you on TikTok, I'm also live on YouTube. It's just above my head on the right side of the screen. Just you can type in my first name, just Tomisin, and you'll find the YouTube stream. And on the top right, I keep all the creators' usernames and stuff. I can't fit it on TikTok. So Julie, mentions, I actually think what she talks about here is very important for you guys to understand. What she said at the very end is very true. You can't sleep your way into getting a man to be invested in you. Never think that. Please never think that. And it's very true. Some of you guys, I know you're in situations where you're very frustrated with the situation you're in, and you're trying to figure out how to get this guy to be invested in you because he just hasn't been invested in you for so long, and you're not going to sleep your way into doing that. And it actually perfectly coincides with, so when you hear some content creators talk about, oh, get him to spend money on you. We talked about money today. Get him to buy you stuff and this and that. That's how you're going to get him to like you. And then you hear people like me, make sure you get him to be emotionally invested in you, consistently emotionally invested in you, pour his heart out to you, tell you about his traumas and things like that, go through situations with you. The reason I talk about that is because, like she mentioned here, the men are going to be falling in love by keeping their promises to you. And so over the course of time, that emotional investment is like, oh, I promise to actually be committed to you. But then actually doing that is kind of fulfilling that promise. Do you understand what I'm saying? And going through situations with you over time and time again, and going through ups and downs, that's like actually taking action on keeping those promises. And so over the course of time, he can fulfill those promises and be emotionally invested in you and increase that vasopressin, like she mentioned. And then eventually you guys create a bond there. But it's not going to happen by him meeting you the first day. You wear a really nice tight pair of jeans. He's like, oh my God, when I saw you, I fell in love at first sight. When he saw you, what really happened is a whole bunch of blood flow went right in between his legs. And then he imagined that was love. It's not. It's being horned up. Okay? Don't forget the difference between being horned up and being in love.
How to make any guy miss you. And this could be your ex or any failed talking stage, because it doesn't matter. I'm putting y'all on game.
Let's see. Okay. Let's see what you guys say.
The first mistake you guys be making is you gotta stop blocking him. And there are two reasons for this. The first reason is that when you block a guy, it actually shows that you are hurt. And a lot of guys will take this as validation. They will know that they strike up such an emotional reaction in you that you have to go on their profile, click the three dots, and hit block. And this will give him way more validation than you think. Because the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. Which is why instead of blocking a guy or unadding him on whatever you guys are talking on, just ignore him. Because what this will do is create a scarcity mindset in his head. Because he will know that the door to contacting you is right there, but even though it's right there, you just won't respond. He will feel like...
So I'm going to pause it real quick. He's going to go on, but 100%, okay? So this is the thing. I want to be very clear though. If you're in a situation that you are absolutely done with a guy and you just want nothing else to do with him and you want to move your life forward, then you block him. Also, if you have that monster within you, because some of you have that monster that itches your brain, that the guy that you like, you can't help yourself but check his social media every second of every day. You go on his profile, see if he's posted every second. As soon as he creates a story, you're the first person to watch it in the first 30. If you have that monster within you, block him. Not for him, just for your peace of mind, because you need to wean yourself off him, and you'll never be able to do that if you're constantly checking his social media. Now, if we're talking about a situation where you just want a guy to miss you or whatever, regret you, or maybe change his mind eventually so that he can see the light or something like that, whatever it may be, then yes, you don't block him. You let him see you living your life. But this is the key though, and I don't know if he'll mention it, but the key is you cannot be checking up on him at that time. You've got to be living your life, but actually be living your life. You can't be living your life, posting, doing you, and then also checking up on what he's doing. You're not going to block him. You don't need to unfollow him. You just act as if he never existed.
Like he never really even mattered to you. And this is going to make him try to prove himself to you. And it will also make it so that he will not be able to stop checking your social media. Because when you block a guy, he can't access your profile. And over time, he will forget you. But if you simply ignore him and keep carrying on like nothing ever happened, this will drive him crazy. You will know this is working if when you post, he is one of the first people to view it or one of the first people to like it. And if you want to just check for sure to see if he is stalking your account, hit the arrow in the bottom right corner and then hit Instagram direct. And this will bring up a list of people that stalk your page. And if he is on that list, specifically in the top 2 or 3, that man misses you like crazy.
That doesn't work. Okay. That last point that he made, don't even try it. That's not how that works. When you hit Instagram direct, if he's talking about what he's talking about here, that last part, I don't even know. What is he saying?
People that stalk your page. And if he is on that list, specifically in the top 2 or 3, that man hit Instagram direct. And this will bring up bottom right corner and then hit Instagram direct. And this
what he's talking about, he's just trying to get a ploy to get you to share it more. Don't worry about that. That doesn't work. What actually works though, is making sure that if you're going to be posting and living your life, yes, post and live your life, but have him on mute. I seen Charisse say this earlier. You have him on mute or you restrict him. So muting will not allow you to see. Actually, I think muting does everything. Yeah. Muting and restricting. So for those of you who can't help yourself, if you see him message you, because when you mute someone, you won't be able to see their stories or their main feed posts. And then when you restrict them, they can message you, but you won't get a notification and it'll go right into like your hidden request. So you basically won't be able to see it. And that's good. It doesn't let him know that you blocked him. It doesn't let him know that you're bothered. It doesn't give him or send him any signals that you are, trying to purposely not view his stuff. It makes everything look regular to him. Like he can message you when he wants. He can see your stuff when he wants, but he doesn't know that all the stuff he sends you, if it's a meme or whatever, and all the stuff he posts doesn't even show up on your timeline. It's great. It's great. Shree says, look who finally realized you're here. It's because you're not here sometimes. So sometimes I don't know if you're here or not. I don't see it. Okay. But Van Banger, that's his name on YouTube. Or sorry, his name on TikTok. That was good. That was good. That was good. Except for the last part.
When he comes back, because he will, this is exactly what you say and do. When they send you the first message, you ignore it. You do not reply to the first message. If it's a phone call, you do not answer it. If they add you on a social media platform, you do not accept it. And you might be thinking, no, like I have to accept it because like what if they never reach out again? When they reach out to you, it's because they know you will pick up. They know that you will answer their text. They know that you will add them back on a social media platform. They know you will because they think that you're easily going to give in for it. However, when you don't, it is going to A, humble the fuck out of them, and B, they're going to have to work a little bit harder to get your attention. And they will, because at this point they're going to be feeling a little bit embarrassed because they have reached out and you haven't replied. So them, with their massive heads and egos, they're going to be thinking, maybe she didn't see it, maybe she didn't get the message, maybe she didn't see my phone call. So they're going to do it again. They're going to reach out again to you, and this time you answer it and you just say, what's up, like, is everything okay? You don't react to them adding you back because they're going to be expecting you to, and then when you don't react to it in a good way, they're going to be like, oh, humbled. So you just act like them reaching out means that something is wrong. So you say like, what's up, what's wrong? And they're going to be like, no, nothing, I just wanted to say hi, like, how are you going, blah blah blah. This is what you say. You say, I'm really good, like I'm going really really well, how are you? You act completely unfazed, completely unbothered. I don't care if you're jumping up and down screaming at the fact that he's contacted you. You act unfazed in the absolute slightest. He's going to be expecting you to say something along the lines of like, no, I'm not doing that well, like I really miss you, I'm so happy that you reached out to me, blah blah blah. You saying that you're going really well is literally going to piss him off. This next part is really important, okay? In the conversation, whether it's a day in, whether it's an hour in, whether it's 10 minutes into the conversation, he's going to hit you with the, have you been seeing anyone else, like, how's your love life going, sort of question. You say, yeah, I've seen a few people, but I'm just not really looking for a relationship right now. Yeah, I've seen a few people and like it went really well, but I'm just not really looking for a relationship. You hit him with that, he is gagged, he is speechless, he doesn't even know what to say. Because the reason why he ended it with you is because he wasn't looking for a relationship and maybe he thought you were, or he didn't want a relationship anymore but he knew that you did. So now you saying that you've ended it with people after him because you're not looking for a relationship is going to make him so angry. Because he's going to be thinking, no, I was the one that didn't want a relationship. And to finish it off really nicely, when he asks you why, you say this, and this is going to kill his insides. You are going to say, I just love being single. He is going to be so angry. Trust me, that works. He's gonna be at your fucking feet doing everything he can to get you back, and you are just gonna be like, I'm not looking for a relationship right now. And if you want to get back to him, you have to make him fucking work for it, and you have to make him prove to you why you should take him back. When he comes back, because he will.
That was great. That was great. I actually agree with everything that she said, and I think that that definitely works. Okay. Like we always talk about, when you show guys indifference, that's when they actually take you seriously. Okay. Don't be doing too much. Don't act unbothered, and don't act like when that guy left you that he took your happiness with him. That's a mistake. You want to make it be like when that guy left, your happiness increased. In fact, you're doing so well, you forgot who he is. New number, who this? New phone, who this? And it humbles guys, because one thing you have to realize as well too. At the beginning of her message, she talked about a guy reaching out. And one thing you have to understand is when guys reach out, sometimes they're going to message you. And then as soon as you respond, oh my God, I miss you. Like, where have you been? Da, 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 da. Like, you're just texting me now. LOL. Oh my God. They're just messaging you to get the ego boost. Once you message them and they see that you've been missing them this entire time, that's all they needed. And then they literally abandon you or don't talk to you anymore, because that's all they wanted, was for you to give them that ego hit and tell them how much, your life has been so horrible since the last time that they saw you. You don't want that. When that guy hits you up and he comes back, tries to come back into your life, like she mentioned, you just be like, oh, actually, my life's been going really well. He's going to be shocked, because his expectation is that your life has been miserable since the last time he was in your life. And like she mentioned as well, right, if he has been playing games and now you're the one saying that you want to be single, once again, the guys start to feel like, oh, the fact that she doesn't want me makes me feel like I should prove to her that she should want me again. But this is where, like she mentioned, and that's where her video ended. You have to make sure you're not saying to him, you've got to prove it to me, blah, blah, blah. You don't say that, okay? What you do, though, is you start observing his actions and letting him show you if he's really serious about getting in this relationship with you this time. Now, there's a limit to that. If you see that he's only doing that for the first date or the first date that you guys spend together back after you guys start talking again, and then after that he goes back to doing what he's been doing, then don't waste your time anymore. But if you see that he's actually making a change, you continue observing and allowing him to show you that he's ready to, put his best foot forward here. And especially when a guy comes back into your life, you want to be doing absolutely nothing for him, because that's his time to show you that he actually wants you. Someone said, who's the creator? Go on my YouTube stream and you'll be able to see the creator. I don't even know how to pronounce her name. I honestly don't. Next we have here Fontaine. Montaigne.
Oh, hey, do you want to hear another absolutely disgusting secret about men that they definitely do not want you to know? And as usual, this is an absolutely foolproof.
Oh, that's who he looks like. I seen in the comments someone say he looks like Jeremy Allen. Yeah, that he does look like that guy.
So please pay attention and do not tell anybody that I told you. And I promise you, this secret is going to be perfectly timed just for the weekend. If you are going out with a man for the first time, for the second time, for the third time, or just hang out with your friends all weekend and maybe you're going to meet a man out, if there is any drinking involved and he says anything to you like, I have never felt this before, I have never felt this way about somebody, hey, I have news for you, chill out. Because any man that is willing to say that to someone that they've only seen maximum 3 times has clearly said that to another woman in the past. So do not fall for that. Also, I would like to say from the bottom of my heart, genuinely thank you for all the well wishes with my mental health that I kind of disclosed yesterday. I never really talk about that personal stuff, but I obviously, instead of having a piece of fruit or vegetable with me yesterday, I had my medication, which I'm now trying. And periodically, I don't know when, but I will keep you updated on how I'm feeling up here, because that you're so special. He's never met anyone like you in his life before, because I guarantee you he said that to the last 4 girls that he's seen 4 times and then dumped. Oh, hey.
Okay, so let's skip this short part and let's go to the part where he's actually talking some sense here.
So please pay attention and do not tell anybody. In time for the third time, or just hang out with your friends all weekend and maybe you're going to meet a man out. If there is any drinking involved and he says anything to you like, I have never felt this before, I have never felt this way about somebody, hey, I have news for you, chill out. Because...
So, it's actually, okay, I don't want to judge. I'm not judging you. I like you. I make mistakes too. I'm sloppy too. I'm weird too. I'm obnoxious too. But when you go out with guys, especially for the first time, I'd advise you to just be in your sober mind. simply because when you can combine, this is like the strategy here. When guys can combine a lot of external elements that just can get you swept up in the moment, it's really good for them. Because if they can combine, oh my God, I've never felt like this before, with you being drunk. See, when you're drunk or you're tipsy, you got that wine in you. It goes to, you know, in between your legs. You got your blood flowing, you're out, you're excited, you're hyped up. See, the guys who get good at this, they get good at getting you hyped up as well. See, I know we'd be talking about, oh, like sometimes the men are like dogs, but they can treat you like a dog as well. Meaning like they know that if they can get you a little bit tipsy, get you out or get you hyped up, oh my God, this connection is like something I've never experienced before. Me and you, we're like two peas in a pod. You're like the female version of me. Meeting you is like the greatest thing ever. And I fell in love with you. As soon as I saw you, I knew something was going on. We were like made to be together. And when they can just lay it on thick like that and just get you swept up in the moment, that is a perfect strategy and a perfect recipe to sleep with you on that first night. But the thing about it is when he does that, you're actually going to feel like that's the right thing to do. So that's why I advise you, honestly, if you're going to meet a guy for the very first time, even if it's a date, just be sober, okay? That way you especially you be sober if you know that you get swept up in the moment a lot, okay? And because it's easier to get swept up in the moment when you're under the influence. Trust me, I know. And yeah, that can just be part of the whole spiel. You know, it's not like they're getting you drunk for the purpose of, you know, making you make a mistake. But when you're drunk also, or when you're, you know, not sober, it's just whether it's being drunk or for some of you that like to smoke, whatever your thing is, because for some of you it's different. Whatever takes you there, it makes it easier for you to get swept up in the moment. That's what can happen because guys can feed you lines and then they make it. Some guys, I'll say, are really good at making it feel really intense, really fast. And when you really are already in a position where you've been looking for love and you've been kind of searching for that and feel like, oh my God, to feel like someone's meeting you and you're like, oh my God, this is actually my person. Oh my God, I'm actually here. Oh my God, someone actually loves me and cares about me and wants to be with me. It can be so emotionally overwhelming that you make mistakes. Okay? That you make mistakes. We don't want that. Let's go to our next one.
How to increase vasopressin so that man bonds to you. Here's the thing, as a woman, you shouldn't even be doing too much. Women who overdo it, they act like his mother. That decreases the hormones that we want to increase. Some of you are saying, oh, it's too many rules, I can't do it. When really the way you can increase a man's bonding hormones is through the way you communicate. We've gotten it a little twisted. We all think we just have a free filter to say whatever we want to anyone. And oh my gosh, if people tell us any type of rules and it's too much, I couldn't possibly do it. If that's working for you, go on ahead. But so many of us have not learned proper communication styles, proper relationship styles. We didn't have a healthy mother-father dynamic to model that for us. One of the ways vasopressin is released is through him accomplishing a task. So let him do stuff for you. Here's a psychology tip for you. Most people think, oh, if I do some nice things for people, they will like me more. Opposite is actually more true. When you have them do nice things for you, they like you more. Crazy. Here's an example of where vasopressin could be released. I bet you mess it up every time. Your man goes, where do you want to eat? You go, I don't know, you choose. But this is the perfect opportunity to give him a little task that he can do for you, accomplish that, and feel good. My first video, what did I say? Men do not fall in love through sex. They fall in love through the commitments they make and keep to you. So where do you want to eat? Pick two things. Oh, I don't know, babe. I would love to do either sushi or we could go get steak. Guess what? Now you have given the bait. Hey, here are two easy tasks you could do to make me happy. And when he picks one of them, he takes you to sushi. Oh my gosh, babe, I'm so happy. Tell him your feelings about that. Now you just triggered vasopressin, dopamine, testosterone, because you gave him a little task he could do for you. You let him complete it, and then you told him how happy that makes you. That's the other thing. Communicating with your feelings gives him that hormonal release that he did a good job. He completed a task. He's a big, strong man. You're not doing anything extra. I'm not saying lie, but how many times have they actually done something for you and you're like, oh, that makes me feel really good. That makes me feel really happy. Say that. That makes me feel happy. That makes me feel safe. That makes me feel protected. You want him to do more of that stuff? Say more of that stuff. How to increase vasopressin.
Sorry, I meant to say Julie's smart. Julie knows exactly what she's talking about. And Julie understands men. So if you applied everything that Julie said in this video here, and then you also went on to apply everything that we talked about today, because it directly applies to what we talked about and how to get a man to spend his money on you, you can actually be winning in both ways, because you'll release vasopressin within him, and he'll be completing a task for you. Julie's very, very smart, okay? Because it's not only enough. So like she mentioned, when a guy asks you, what do you like, or what do you want, or what do you need, give him something to accomplish. Don't just say, I don't know, and we can do whatever. Actually start getting into the habit of, when a guy asks you, hey, what do you want me to do for you? What do you need for this? What do you need for that? Have something for him to do. That way he can get into the habit of like accomplishing tasks for you and doing things for you. Of course, you don't want it to just be him doing the thing for you and then you don't show him appreciation. You also want to make sure, like very smart Julie just said, a very, very important step of that is aftercare. We're going to call it aftercare from now on the show, is aftercare, because I want you to be able to connect it the same way, because I know you understand the term aftercare as it relates to, sleeping with someone, right? And the feeling you need after sleeping with someone to continue feeling safe. Guys need aftercare as well. When they do something for you, when they take care of you, buy you something, do a task for you, accomplish a task for you, you need to give them aftercare as well. Help them know that they did a good job. Help them know that you appreciate them and you like what they're doing, and you like the kind of the track that things are going along. That way they can have in their mind, I did a good job, I should continue doing this, right? That gives him that good feeling, that validation as well. And then what do you think he does for the rest of the relationship? He continues going along that path, because when he starts thinking about how to make you happy, he knows that that's the way to make you happy. Okay? Right? Someone said, what if when they cook for you? Perfect, right? If you like when he cooks for you, and he asks you, what do you want me to cook for you? Tell him exactly what you want him to cook for you. Don't just say, I don't know. Tell him exactly what you want him to cook for you, and then he could do that. Someone said she's from Netflix. I just hovered over her page here, and she is from Netflix. She's from season 1 of Trust. Julie Theus. Okay, so yeah, I guess she's from Netflix. All right, guys, let's go into our last segment of the day here. Spam up in the chat if you know what our last segment of the day is. Let me know in the chat if you know where we about to go with it. Don't look at the clock. Don't look at your watch. Don't look at your phone. Don't look nowhere in your home. It's a special time, a very amazing time, a time where you're going to laugh and you're going to cry. If you don't know, I'm going to tell you. Discord time. Discord time. Here we go now. Discord time. Discord time. Here we go now. Discord time. Discord time. Yeah. Sometimes you just need to yell. All right, chat. Let's get this thing started. All right. For those of you who are very confused, it's okay to be confused. You're going to learn something. Discord time is essentially where all the amazing members of the Players Club get an opportunity to ask me a question about their relationship or situationship, and I answer it live on the show, okay? So we're going to hop into our Discord here, and you have multiple options to send me your personal Discord question, okay? So our first option here, as you can see, our Discord is loading. So, okay, I'll explain to you our options here. So our first option here is for you to drop in your question in our free relationship advice section. Now, our free relationship advice section, you access that by going by going into the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description on YouTube. And you'll hop up into our Discord. You click that link where it says join the Discord, and then you go into relationship advice. When you get in there, you'll be able to drop your question in our forum and I'll answer it live on the show. Now, I have to warn you something about our free section. There are a lot of questions here. So as you can see, all these highlighted questions are questions I haven't answered yet. So before I get to yours, hypothetically, if you were to drop it in a day, it'd be a couple weeks before I can get to yours because the oldest question here is 28 days old. So it's going to take me a while to get to your question, okay? Not because I'm mean, it's just a first come, first serve basis. Now, if you're someone who's really impatient and you want to submit your question, but you don't want to wait a couple weeks for me to answer it, that's perfectly fine. You have another option, which is our Discord, premium relationship advice, where I answer your questions on Discord, except it's like a VIP pass at a theme park. So you get to skip the line of people. So instead of you having to wait all this time for me to answer your question and things like that, you get a chance to skip that line, get your question answered, and you don't have to worry about waiting weeks at a time because I answer these first before I go into the free section. Okay. Now, as the third option, for those of you who don't want your information out on Front Street, but you still want to get my advice on your situation, you can also ask me a private relationship question. All you do is go to the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description, click where it says private relationship advice, or it's also available in the Discord, obviously. And then you can ask me a private relationship advice section by clicking that link. You fill out the form, and then I respond to you via your email, and I send you a voice message. It's only me that sees your message. That way you have multiple different options to send it to me that I'll answer for you. So let's start off with our first premium message here today, which comes from Nala. So Nala says, ending a situationship. Nala says, hi, I messaged in this chat about 2 months ago in regards to a situationship I was dealing with. I remember in the video you said, I guarantee you it'll die out just as fast, simply because things started out pretty quick. Well, fast forward, you were right. Oh, man. However, I'm deciding to end things. Last week, we were out to eat with a group of people, and someone noticed our interactions and asked how long we've been together. We both laughed and hesitantly said we're not in a relationship. The guy then asked, what's the holdup? And he pretty much, oh, sorry. So you're talking about the guy that was, coming up to you, the stranger that came up to you guys. And he pretty much responded with a we're just cool type of response. That was funny to me because that's not what he tells me. He tells me he loves me and whatever else that sounds good, but I'm over it. I bring it up to him after the dinner and he was like, no, I didn't mean anything by that. And I told him how that was a slap in the face. The next day, I sent him a text saying this is no longer serving me. We've been talking for almost 5 months. Oh, wow. And there hasn't been any true progression. We meet up the next day because I had stuff at his house. Oh, wow. So not only have you guys been hanging out for 5 months, but also you've been obviously sleeping over there to the point where you would leave stuff at his place. So this is not like a casual thing anymore. We met up the next day because I had stuff at he talks about how he ordered me flowers 2 days ago with a note saying he's here and doesn't want to be anywhere else, and just bought us plane tickets to travel somewhere. I'm not going to say he's lying. Quite convenient, though, that a guy who hasn't even made you his girlfriend bought you plane tickets to travel somewhere. But he can't ask you to be his girlfriend. That's free. Anyways, I sat there in silence because it was too late and I couldn't find any words. So I left. We went no contact for 4 days and he texted me last night saying, I want you. I responded, you're not ready for anything serious and I don't have the space to be hurt over you. Honestly, you didn't even need to respond, okay? I never responded after that. It's annoying that he texts that just to not respond. Oh, sorry. I read that wrong. He never responded after that. It's annoying that he texts that just to not respond. It's also telling. Do you think he will reach out again? How do I get my power back? Should I block him? I feel apprehensive and confused by everything. Just looking for your thoughts on all of this and any words of advice moving forward. You should block him for your own sanity. Okay? If you tell a guy, I want to break this down for you so that you can really, I want to clear the clouds and the smoke for you so you can see very clearly. Okay, look at me in my eyes. If you tell a guy, I am frustrated with our relationship because we have not taken the next step, and then you tell him I'm walking away because our relationship isn't progressing, and then his response to you is I want you, and he's frustrated because of how much he wants you, and you tell him, reiterate again, I'm only frustrated because our relationship isn't progressing, and then his response is to not respond to you at all, that man is lying to you and wasting your time. Don't worry about getting your power back, because getting your power back should consist of that guy actually showing up for you. That guy is not even in an emotional state to have the desire to show up for you, because what he responded to you doesn't even logically make sense. Your problem is not with him. Your problem is not that he's a bad person. Your problem is not that he's not capable of being a boyfriend. Your problem is simply that, hey, if we're going to be doing this for months and months and months, I'm going to be sleeping over at your house, leaving stuff there. Like, this relationship has to progress at some point. I still can't be your friend that we're cool. And like you mentioned earlier, he tells you that he loves you. He also tells you that he bought plane tickets for you guys to travel somewhere. So he wants to take a vacation honeymoon with you, right? Because that's what you do on a honeymoon. You take a vacation together. And he wants to tell you that he loves you. But when people talk to him, I know it's just a random stranger, you guys are just cool. That don't make sense on no type of planet. So don't feel bad. Don't feel bad about how this ended. I know it kind of fizzled out and it's just kind of disappointing. Don't feel bad about that though. You should block him simply for your own sanity, just so you don't get caught in the loop of checking his stuff all over again. But don't worry about getting your power back. Because in a situation like this, where he doesn't respond to you, when you start getting obsessed with getting your power back, you're going to start thinking, I should reach out to him to get my power back. So if you want a strategy to get your power back, your strategy is blocking him and moving on with your life. Okay. Now, if you don't have a monster rolling through you and you don't need to block him to just forget about him, then unfollow him and move on with your life. Okay. And he can watch your stuff if he wants to watch your stuff. If he wants to unfollow you, he can unfollow you. But if you know you have a monster within you, and when I say monster, I just mean that monster that wants to check up on everything he's doing, then block him just for your own sanity. But your way of getting your power back is moving forward with your life and not wasting any 1 iota microsecond of your time with a guy who is only going to string you along here. Okay. Nothing wrong. See, here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with him saying, I'm still getting to know you, but I definitely want us to build towards, being in a relationship. There's a difference between that and just saying, oh, well, I'm not ready and I don't know what I want things to be or anything like that. Do you follow what I'm saying? And I think you do follow what I'm saying, simply because I think you know the difference between a guy of 5 months of spending time with the guy where like you guys are building up and progressing here and he's very serious and intentional about you, and 5 months of like being very confused and having no clarity. And I think for what you've been through, that this has been 5 months of having no clarity. And I think that just this situation here, because some of you guys might be like, that's kind of small. You're telling me that she broke up with him just because of that, but I guarantee you for Nala in this situation, it was just a small microcosm of a bigger issue. And this has been something that's been on her mind for a long time, but that was like the final straw and confirmation that she needed to know that I'm not crazy. This is going nowhere. And this guy doesn't even actually take this seriously. And I'm sure in other ways with his actions, he has made it clear to her that he's not really taking this seriously, which is good, Nala, that you finally put your foot down and said, I'm just wasting my time here. It's good. It's good to recognize when you've wasted time and when a situation no longer serves you, because you can't be in that cycle forever. Because 5 months will turn into a year, will turn into 2 years, will turn into 3 years of being in a situation. We had someone, I kid you not, for those of you who are OG Players Club members, we've had someone in our Players Club Discord, chat, literally be in a situationship for nearly a decade. A decade of being in a situationship with no real commitment there. And it sounds like a horror story, but it can end up happening to any one of you that continue just putting it off and saying, oh, I'm not wasting my time. Oh, I'll continue giving him chances. Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, I'll just ignore it. And then you'll be on the back burner for years without it going anywhere. And you'll still be friends. You'll still be cool. You'll still be besties or whatever they want to describe it as. You won't be a girlfriend. You'll be that for years of your life, and you'll have wasted so much of your time and your energy and your amazing years with a guy who's literally gonna go off into the distance with a different girl and make a different girl his girlfriend and then leave you with nothing. We don't want that for you. But Nala, you did a good job in what you decided to do, and I don't think you need to even turn back. I don't think there's anything to turn back to here. Okay, especially when he didn't even respond to you. That's such a slap in the face. Next here, let's go to. Let me just make sure I did all of them. All right, let's go to our next one. Let's go to our free section here, and answer a few questions. Oh my gosh, so many to do. This one was deleted. Okay. Let's go to our next one, which comes from C. So C asked a general question. C says, hello, I've been enjoying all the advice I've gotten with Tomisin's content. Yet, with so many different advice I hear, I am left confused with the question. How to find the balance between being a magnet, focusing on your life, and not putting pressure on a man, which will make him run away, while maintaining boundaries and avoiding no pressure type of situationships that lead to time being wasted. I hope you all have a good day. So, C, to answer your question, anytime you're dating a guy, anytime you're single or in a relationship, your number one priority should always be you. You never let go of you or stop focusing on the things that you care about while you're in a relationship. Some people might call it selfish. Some people might call it self-centered. At the end of the day, if you don't look out for you, nobody else will. So if you throw away your entire life just to be with one guy and then that guy abandons you and goes off into the distance and does his own thing, you're going to be the one miserable that you wasted so much of your life and sacrificed so much of your life on one guy that you didn't even end up being with. So I say that to say, always keep yourself first. That's the only time you can begin serving someone else. Okay, you gotta be whole first. Then after you do that, in terms of putting pressure on a man, see, you're not putting pressure on him in the sense that you're coming into the relationship and saying, you must take this seriously. If you don't, then I'm going to walk away. See, this is how you do that. You do that, and if you've watched my shows for multiple months, you know this. You do that by telling stories. Telling stories will be a good way to show him that you mean business and that there's a graveyard of men in your life who haven't taken things seriously or made mistakes, and they never get a chance with you again. They never get to talk to you. They never get to sleep with you. They never get access to you. They're cooked forever. Okay, so stories is a good way to show guys that you mean business. Now, the other way you do that is through your actions. So obviously, you can't be giving yourself away to guys for free, meaning you can't be sleeping with them on the very first night. The other important thing that you can't be doing is you can't allow guys to get full access to you from the very beginning. So that's why I always also tell you guys, keep the date to a maximum of 1 date per week for the first month, okay? And maximum of 2 hours, 2 hours of in-person time. Then the second month, you go 2 dates per week, maximum of 2 hours each date. Third month, 3 dates per week, maximum of 3 hours each date, okay? That's not including transportation time. The reason I say that is because you want to keep that system going and see that the men that you're dating are intentional with you, but also consistent with you. Because any guy can spend 5 hours on a date with you, and then after he spends that 5 hours on a date with you, you don't hear from him for the next 2 weeks. That's unsustainable. You don't want that. You want to see that a guy can be interested in you and intentional with you, on a date, but then also still be that intentional throughout the week and then go on more dates with you. You don't want it to just be one date for, for the next 30 years and you only got on one date a year. Okay. Now, setting boundaries is more about what you do than it is about what you say. So setting boundaries is about making sure you put yourself in a situation to succeed. Setting boundaries, like not sleeping with someone on the first night, is not just about saying that, because some of you guys say that and then you put yourself in a tough situation. When you set boundaries, you have to be about that. So if you tell a guy, you're not someone who likes to sleep with on the first night and blah, 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 I don't even think it's necessary for you to say that, simply because it doesn't do anything. If you know you're not going to do it, there's no point even talking about not doing it. Just don't do it. And you got to set boundaries by, even in smaller ways, when he does cross boundaries or he does do something that you don't like, you show him that you mean business and you address things that are small, or if it's something big, then you just withdraw yourself. Okay. Or you show him that you don't take that stuff lightly. Right. And over the process of you, building a relationship with someone, there will be opportunities to show him that you mean business. Okay. When you start getting in relationships, you'll see these opportunities present themselves. Nobody's perfect. Everyone's always going to make mistakes. And there's always an opportunity to show men that you mean business and you're not going to take a whole bunch of BS. Okay. So for example, if a guy is constantly showing up super late to dates with you, maybe one day you just don't show up to that date. Or you leave and you don't send him a message back until he apologizes to you and gives some sort of strategy on how he's not going to do that thing again. Okay. Because you have to make sure that you show him from the very beginning that once boundaries are set, you don't cross or, go around or make it easy for those boundaries or whatever it may be. Right. You're very strict and very serious on those boundaries. Okay. So someone says, Goose says, give an example of a story, please. I actually have a whole show on my YouTube that's titled How to Set Boundaries with Men. So for those of you guys who are like, I want details on how to set boundaries, just go to my YouTube, it's above my head on the top right corner of the screen. For you TikTok users, go to my YouTube, type in Tomisin, and then type in boundaries, and then you'll find all my videos that I did on boundaries. Okay, I've gone into detail, I think, on multiple shows on boundaries. Okay, like the whole show is about boundaries. Let's go to our next question here, which comes from our next question here comes from Neves. Is it Neves or Knives? I think it's Neves. Neves sounds more like that's what it would be. He is back. Okay. Hi, Tomisin. I'm 32. Have already told you my story 2 months ago about a man who's 39, whom child is my child's classmate. And we hang out sometimes so our kids can play together. Hope you remember the story. Yeah, I remember. Okay. I didn't like the inconsistency and all this hot and cold behavior from him. So 2 months ago, I ended this, let's call it friendship, because we didn't sleep together yet. When I have ended things, he was, when I ended things, he was interested to meet for coffee and talk about things. But at the time, I rejected him and told him we can meet and talk at the end of summer vacations. He was okay with that and contacted me only for my son's birthday to wish him happy birthday. Last week, August 28th, he asked me if we want us to go. I think he meant say if I want us to go play together again. Was that a test? So like your kids to play together again, I think you meant say. And I rejected him and said I have other plans. And first we need to talk alone, as we said 2 months ago. He agreed and asked me when I have time. So we went to grab a coffee September 2nd, and this was a very nice and calm conversation. He took full accountability for his actions and admitted that he didn't treat me right and that I didn't do anything wrong. Isn't that like magic, chat? Isn't that like magic? When you actually give guys the space to like see what they're doing wrong or to see how they're mistreating you, isn't it like magic how they actually are able to realize that and come to you and apologize for that without you begging? You see, Neves did it the right way. She didn't beg him to see what he was doing wrong. She didn't beg him to acknowledge all the ways that he hurt her or was disrespecting her or not treating this relationship with respect. He knew that deep down in his heart. And she didn't have to address it for him to apologize. He just needed space for him to apologize, okay? He said he was thinking a lot about everything that he resolved and ended all things that didn't allow him to move forward with me. Isn't that like magic, chat? Neves didn't even have to ask him to do anything. All she did was withdraw. Not only did he recognize his mistakes and what he did wrong, but he actually went through the process of solving all the issues he had, or at least he tried to, the issues he had that was preventing him from being a good partner to her. Then he came to her, apologized for what he did, and said, I have addressed the things that were making me a bad partner before. Isn't it like magic? And she didn't even have to open her mouth or say anything. All she did was withdraw. And he came with all the answers. Let this be an example to you. You don't got to say nothing. You don't. You really don't. You got to do way less to get a lot more. He said he thought he is ready, but he was clearly not ready. He was very hurt from his ex-wife cheating on him. He talked to his friend about things, and he said he is now ready to be more consistent and wants to do things right. Isn't this like magic? Isn't this like magic? He listened to me calmly and only confirmed what I had to say. It's like magic. We didn't kiss or anything except a hug, except hugging each other. He asked for another date, but I said we will stay in touch about that. What do you think? Is he genuine? How to move forward? At the beginning, he wanted to take things slow, but I don't want that to be an excuse for bad behavior. I appreciate your advice. Update, of September 27th. Surprisingly, since then, we hang out every week. He also invited me and my son to his home for lunch and asked if his mom can join us. I said, sure. So officially, I met his mom. Isn't this awesome? He didn't introduce me he didn't introduce me as a girlfriend, and I think I shouldn't bother about that. I don't think that it's that big a deal right now. I mean, you guys just started redoing your thing, and introducing you to his mom is already like a big enough deal, okay? I think he is serious. He is a grown man, and I think he wouldn't invite me to his home. He wouldn't. And all that stuff, if he wasn't serious about it, he wouldn't, okay? Am I picking that up correctly? You are. Our sons are in the same football team, so I also met his father there. Okay, actually, he came to me and introduced himself as his father. He also met some of my closest friends, but I didn't meet his yet. We hang out mostly in public places, so I don't think he is hiding me, and he knows a lot of people. Every time we are hanging out and we meet someone, every time we are hanging out, we meet someone who knows him. What do you think about meeting his parents before officially meeting his friends? I think it's fine. Sometimes the timeline of things just make it so. I think at some point, based on this timeline, I think you'll eventually meet his friends. Now, if months goes by and you still don't meet his friends, then you should be concerned. Oh, so then you say update on the second this weekend, on October 2nd this weekend, I met one of his closest friends. So yeah, it's fine. I am wondering how come now things suddenly changed from that hot and cold to introducing me to his parents and friend. I'll tell you exactly why once we finish this message. Like, I can't believe that by just being indifferent, this is actually a success story, chat. So let's clap it up for Neves, okay? I can't believe by just being indifferent, there will be sudden progress. Do men really need that to figure out their feelings? Yes. And I'm so glad you sent this message. We're going to have a great conversation about this. I assume he now finally figured out. We still don't talk every day, but at least he shows up and how I always wanted him to. Should I expect more texting and calling from him than on 2 to 3 days? No, don't worry about that. I mean, sometimes we are chatting every day, and after the date, usually we have breaks. I let him reach out to me always. We still didn't sleep. This is so perfect. We still didn't sleep together because I wanted to wait to see how he shows up. Soon, it will be almost a year since we started hanging out. Thank you, Tomisin, so much. You are saving our love lives. So this is actually not really a question. It's a success story. And I know you're asking your question because you're curious. Why did this work so well? And why did it work how it did? See, this is the really weird part, but this is the amazing part about men. When you do less, you give them room to do more. And like I mentioned in previous shows, this is a perfect example of why showing men indifference is the only way they see the need and necessity to make a change. When you yell and you scream and you slash his tires and you go crazy and you have a psychotic breakdown, they actually don't think they need to make a change because they receive that as love. Even though you're thinking, I'm showing you how much I hate this and how much I dislike this, they're actually receiving that as, oh, if you didn't care so much, if you didn't love me so much, if you weren't so fascinated and enamored by me, then you wouldn't have this much feelings or be going this crazy. When you actually show them indifference and you give them space to think and you don't tell them, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, you did this wrong, you did that, they actually start thinking, damn, I actually did like spending time with her. I did like talking to her. I did like being around her. And I miss her. I wish I had her in my life again. And I know she probably has stopped talking to me because I messed up. So now that they have space, their mind starts working and working. When you treat men like adults, meaning that like you give them space and assume that they're smart enough to come up with ideas on why they messed up, they're actually able to do that. Because when you don't baby them, their mind is forced to start working on, okay, let's revisit all the things that transpired in the relationship. What did I do? What did I say? That wasn't good. I haven't been intentional. And so when guys actually like you, okay, because I seen Carrie say some do and some don't. Definitely some don't, but the ones that don't even have the intention of being with you. And this is where you get a lot of answers by showing guys indifference. Because when a guy actually likes you and you show him indifference, he will then start pondering upon, okay, how do I fix this? Because I do want her. And then he'll do the things necessary to get in a relationship with you and be for real with you. Now, if you show a guy indifference and he never cared about you in the first place, nothing's going to happen because he doesn't have a desire to change. What you're doing when you show a guy indifference is it's like a lighter. You're sparking his desire to actually make a change because he internally feels like it's necessary to make a change because he wants and desires you. Now, that spark can only be lit if there's gasoline. So if there's no gasoline to actually get this fire on the way, that spark isn't going to do anything. So when you show a guy indifference, if there's no gasoline, meaning there's no desire for you or desire to be with you, then that spark's not going to do anything. It's just like putting a spark in thin air. If it doesn't have anything to kind of ignite the fire, nothing's going to happen. That spark can only work and create a fire if there's gasoline to ignite it. Are you following what I'm saying? So the man that you show indifference to and nothing happens, it's because he didn't even have desire to be with you in the first place. But that's good. You want to come to the realization that the men that you're with or spending your time on has no real desire for you, because then you know for sure you've been wasting your time. Because if you show him indifference and he still doesn't care, that means he never cared at all about you in the first place. But what happened here with Neves, and this is kind of why she's confused, is because she's probably been spending the majority of the time she's been with him, she's been spending that time doing so much, asking him for this, begging for this, being so unsure about this, slugging herself along through this hot and cold thing that he was doing, confused, thinking that maybe if I do more, then I'll get more from him. And then she was so frustrated. And then when she finally stopped doing more, did less, in fact, did nothing, and she showed him indifference, he gave her everything that she was asking for. So it's funny because you're happy, but you're so happy that you're a little bit confused why this worked so well because you don't feel like you did anything. But that's why I tell you, do nothing, okay? Do nothing. When men like you, they want to pursue you, they want to be with you, they desire you. When you do nothing, everything works out how it's supposed to work. They approach you or they put their best foot forward because they want you. And trust me, men are not dumb. They're not dumb. They're not dumb. They know when they're mistreating you. They know when they're not treating you right. They know when they're being inconsistent with you. And so when you give them that space to think and see, I promise you as well too, he even feels more like a man for owning up to his own mistake, coming to you, having a solution, and then solving this. So it's like you feel good because you didn't have to beg him for it. And he also feels good because he feels like a man who took control of the situation and went for what he wanted. So you're actually, both of you are winning here, right? He feels like I went and got what I wanted because I know what I want. And you also feel good because you're like, he came and got me. I didn't have to beg for it. Okay. So let this, Neves, be a testament to you and the rest of you as well. Let this be a testament to you that anytime you're dealing with the guy and you're dealing with a whole bunch of hot and cold, up and down energy from him, do nothing. In fact, withdraw from him. When you withdraw, he's going to come to a crossroads. Either we just leave this and we never speak again, or I figure out how to make a change, make an adjustment, and I come back to her ready to actually do the things necessary to be in a relationship with her. Now, not all of you are going to see the results that Neves did. The reason Neves saw this result is because he actually wanted her and wanted to be with her. Some of you, unfortunately, are going to do this, and you're going to realize that guy never speaks to you again. That's fine. Doesn't make you a bad person, but I've actually dodged a bullet because now you've avoided wasting your time with this guy. But now, Neves, you can be happy and resting assured knowing he came to you because he knew he wanted you. Now, for the rest of the relationship, remember two things. One, now you know he knows how to do the right thing. He knows how to treat you right, and he knows how to be consistent with you in a relationship. So anytime from now on that he doesn't do that, know it's because he's making a choice. Not because he's dumb, not because he forgot, not because he's incapable. It's a choice now. And you know that because you've seen him do the right thing. The second thing now you know for the future is do nothing. Continue doing nothing. He will fill in the blanks for you because of his desire for you. And you'll be fine. Okay? I'm so glad that worked for you. So let's go to our next one here. And it starts with NK. Okay. So NK says, need your insight. Okay. So this is a different Anna, not the other Anna. So need your insight. Hi, Tomisin. So I am 20. I want your insight about my best friend's relationship, also 20 female. Okay. Are you sure it's her relationship and not yours? I know it's not my business, but I'm genuinely concerned that down the line, this man who's 21 will be taking advantage of her and she is giving him away free money. I can't change her views about him because she loves him. But I'm very interested in what you have to say about this situation. This starts with where my friend and this guy met online. They texted for a month and then planned to meet. He started acting weird last minute and said that I don't want you to come to my town because I feel like being alone at the moment. So they stopped talking for some time, but then started to talk again as he began reaching out and finally met when she came to his house on the first meeting and stayed for a sleepover. Seems like a lot of detail to have when this is your friend, not you. Let's go on. On the first meeting, they went to McDonald's, where he didn't even offer to pay for her, even though she made effort to come to his town. Chat, are we saying that this is her or is it actually her bestie? I want to see what you guys think. Do you guys think this is her sending the message? This is actually Anna K sending the message for her friend, or this is her situation? She's just saying my friend. I'm just curious what you guys think. So he didn't even offer to pay at McDonald's. 50 minutes away. So your friend drove 50 minutes away, and he didn't even offer to pay for the McDonald's. 2 days before meeting in real life for the first time, he asked her to be his girlfriend. What? The timeline that you gave was just a little bit weird here. So before they met, before the McDonald's, he asked her to be his girlfriend. They hadn't even met yet. Where did they do that at? I'm gonna take a stretch for a second. Let me take a stretch. Whenever I just oh boy. Let me stretch it out because I gotta gather and collect my thoughts. Let me stretch it out. Yeah, downward dog. Let me stretch out my feet here. I gotta get like a yoga mat. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Anytime you're dating a guy, whether you meet him on a dating app or on Instagram or Snapchat, wherever, if a guy is asking you to be his girlfriend before you meet him in person, if it's you or your friend, whoever, my advice to you is to not even bother meeting up with that man. Because one of two things are happening. Either he is so delusional, he actually thinks it makes sense to ask someone he's never met to be his girlfriend, in which case you can't build a relationship with someone who's that, like, doesn't understand relationships. Or he's using this as some sort of crazy manipulation tactic to sleep with you on the first night of meeting you. Either way, you can't build anything with someone like that. That like, there are some red flags where when someone does that, you just have to move forward. Like, you can't even try to explore more of that because that's going nowhere fast. Which is just weird to me. It's very weird. Okay. She agreed. They both don't have cars and he never really plans dates, and they usually go to each other's houses when someone is able to lift them. They're asking for rides to each other's houses. Is this message from 2024? We have Uber, right? Because you didn't say when they're able to catch a lift. You said when someone is able to lift them, meaning they have to ask mom or dad or a friend or something like that to take them there. How old are these people? What's going on here? These are adults. Even if they live with their parents, why are they asking other people to drive them there? Just take an Uber. Oh boy. Example, the past 3 times in a row, she went to his town and he said there was no one there to lift him to her town. Okay, this is a word of advice for those of you who are on the younger side. If you're so young that you and your man don't have money to see each other, stop having long distance relationships. Like, those of you on the younger side don't even need to be entertaining any sort of long distance relationship, because 99% of at least the guys that you're going to be dating don't even have long distance relationship money when you're on the younger side. And so there's just no point. Like, I know it's just 50 minutes away, but he doesn't have a car and he doesn't have money clearly to Uber to you. So what's the point of even doing this? There's just no point. Even if you like him, what's the point? You're never going to see each other. And not only do you have to rely on your schedules on when both of you are free, now you have to rely on other people's schedules when they can drive you there. What's the actual point? Just like, you have to start allocating your time in the right places that make sense. This is such a waste of time. Such a waste. My friend thinks it's okay to come to a guy's house the first time. I hope she watches the show. I hope you show her this segment, which I don't agree with. I tell her, but she doesn't get it. Also, this guy acts nonchalant with her. He doesn't pursue her, and it looks like she is obsessed with him more. In my opinion, this is a situation where a woman will start to do more than a man. Question, is there exceptions to... No. Before I even finish that question, there is no exceptions to rules. Don't do any of the stuff that she's doing here. You shouldn't be doing under any circumstances. Say, even if a guy doesn't organize dates, goes 50-50 with you and only brings you either to the park or his house, can he still be serious about you, or does he simply view you as a placeholder until his dream girl comes along that he will treat that much better than you? Okay, let me ask you a quick question based on what you just asked me here. Let's say his dream girl is Ice Spice. Do you think if he actually got an opportunity to take Ice Spice on a date or to take her out, do you think he would invite her to his house or just take her to the park? Or do you think he'd actually muster up a couple of cents and try to take her out somewhere nice if that was his dream girl? If the answer to your question is no, then that should tell you everything you need to know. Literally, be logical and real with yourself. If your guy or any guy you're thinking of actually had an opportunity with the girl of his dreams, Halle Berry, Beyonce, Rihanna, Tyla, Lotto, whoever, I don't know who your guy might like, okay? Naomi Campbell, I don't know. Or any IG model. And he actually had an opportunity with her. Would he take her to the park? Would he take her to his house? And that's the most he would do? No. Obviously, he's going to try to put his best foot forward if that's his dream girl. So that tells you all you need to know about how he feels about you or your friend if that's what he's doing with her. Because guys know how to put their best foot forward when they feel like it's necessary to get the girl. When they don't think it's necessary or they just don't care, they don't put their best foot forward. So there are no exceptions to that rule, okay? There are none. You have to take people at their word and observe how they treat you. Now, as it comes to your friend, unfortunately, this is one of those situations where Anna K, I know if this is truthfully your friend and you actually just want to help her, here's the thing. You're sending in your message because you care about her and you want to see her win. You want to see her happy. Unfortunately, she has to want that for herself. So I know you're sending in this message and you're probably going to show it to her and look what Tomisin says and look, you should do this and you should do that. At the end of the day, you have to understand also for some people, the only way that they learn is by making the mistake themselves. So she might listen to this whole thing, read the chat, see everyone saying, leave that man, don't talk to him, don't talk to him, don't talk to him, and still end up talking to him. You have to understand for some people, they just have to learn their own way. And for some people, the only way for them to learn that you shouldn't waste your time and energy on a guy who doesn't care about you is by wasting a whole bunch of their time and energy on a guy who doesn't care about them, only to realize down the line that he gets another girlfriend or he breaks up with her or he just starts ignoring her and ghosting her, right? She has to go through the heartbreak. She has to start crying, be sad, wonder why, look for answers before she realizes, oh, I shouldn't be wasting and spending all my time with guys who don't take me seriously. Some people just have to go through it in order to realize that. And unfortunately, your friend might be one of those people. So you can show her the show, you can show her the chat, you can show her my response and everything, and you can tell her, look, see, I was right and this and that. But you also have to accept the fact that she might see and hear everything that you and me and everyone else says and still go and hang out with that guy and still go and drive 50 minutes to see him until he ghosts her, until he gets a new girlfriend, until she's on the floor or at your house in your bed, curled up in a ball, bawling her eyes out because this guy, just left her in the dust and discarded of her. That's when she'll realize that I shouldn't do this again. Unfortunately, for some people, that's when they'll realize. And as a friend, you just got to be there for her, and not be so worried about saying I told you so. She'll learn her lesson one way or another. Trust me, we all do. Okay. So that's my response to you and her. Next, let's go to Lady M. Okay. Lady M says, does he love me? Ooh, I'm going to be honest with you, Lady M. So I hope you're ready. Lady M says, hi, Tomisin. I am dating my first boyfriend. We met now after many years again. He is saying that he loves me. consistent, what? I think you meant to say constantly texting. I'm like, that's not even a word. He loves me, is consistently texting, calling every day, and wants to be with me. But I have some serious concerns. For example, while we were in a park, why is everyone going to parks now? He wanted to go to what? He wanted to go to two half-naked women to make a joke to them. I felt very uncomfortable, and we were arguing about that. What? What? What type of park has two random naked women? I don't even know how to answer this. What park has random naked women there? Why are there even naked women there? Why do some of you guys send in I swear, sometimes people send in questions with too much details that aren't relevant. And then sometimes you guys send in questions with details that are very relevant that don't make sense without them. Why are there two randomly naked women at a park? Oh, sorry, you said half naked women. Okay. So they're just wearing less clothes. So you mean like, why would he make, this is weird. Let's skip over that part. It's just too weird. I don't even understand. What's the joke you make? Oh, your skirt's so short. Ha ha. Well, I'm wanking myself off. It's so funny that your skirt's short. What's the joke there? I felt very uncomfortable and we were arguing about that. Moreover, I discovered he is still in a romantic relationship with a woman. Let me take a second, bro. Like, I just like, bro, like, I almost just want to walk out. I'm not gonna lie. I almost want to walk out. I'm not gonna lie. I almost just want to turn the stream off right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Chat, do you know the title of this question? Do you know what the title of this question is? I think some of you might have forgot the title of the question. Do you know the title of this question? The title of this question is, does he love me? But let's go on. I don't want to get too mad. I discovered he is still in a romantic relationship with a woman. He was saying is only a friend, but she isn't. He is breaking his word with me and is lying. Can a man like this love me? I'm taking a break again. Of all the questions you could ask, you asked me the question, does the man in a whole relationship with another woman who doesn't seem to want me or want to be in a relationship with me, can a man like that still love me? Wow. I am really in doubt. At the same time, he is refusing to let me go. I tried to break up with him 3 times, and this is very difficult. He refuses to accept it. It is so hard for me because I have had feelings for him from the past for him, and he is not a stranger for me. And yet I am disgusted by his behavior towards me. Please give me a piece of advice. Lady, I'm going to attempt to deliver to you this very sternly, but very honestly. Do not ever expect the men taking advantage of you to stop taking advantage of you. Do not ever expect the men, in this case, the man who is disrespecting you, to stop disrespecting you. Do not ever expect the man who is using you to stop using you. It is not his job to stand up for you. It is your job to stand up for you. If you want to stop being disrespected, you have to get up, grow a backbone, and stand up for yourself and stop tolerating the disrespect. This man clearly does not respect you nor want to be in a relationship with you. He is already in a relationship with another woman. The longer you sit around waiting for something to change, the more time you will waste and the more you will get disrespected by him. Let me let you in on a secret, Lady M. Guys who have other situations, girlfriend, wives, that deal with you and you're like the side chick, he doesn't start to want you more or respect you more over time. Over time, he only wants you less and disrespects you more. Why? Because he already doesn't respect you for the fact that you're willing to stick around while getting nothing. You know, it's funny, actually. Weirdly enough, men in a situation like this, they actually secretly despise you. I really mean that. Okay? Because when they see how little you respect yourself, they secretly hate you for having so little self-respect. And they actually disrespect you as a way of expressing that despise they have for you. Because they despise the fact that you see yourself as so useless and like unimportant to the world, that you would sit here and take the fact that he'll treat you any way he wants to, and you will still sit there and allow him back into your life. And it's funny, you're saying that he keeps coming back into your life and he refuses to accept it. What he's actually just realizing is she is a joke. And I really want to be nice about this, but I have to be stern with you so you understand what's going on. He takes you like a joke, meaning when you say you don't want something or you don't like something or this is a boundary, it literally goes in one ear and out the other. It's like a fart in the wind. He doesn't take anything you say or do seriously. All he cares about is what I want. Because what you want is so irrelevant to him. And he also knows you don't even have the backbone or the spine to stand up for what you want. So anytime you try to set a boundary, he just walks right over it because it doesn't matter to him. When you try to set a boundary, he doesn't even see it. It's unimportant to him. You are an absolute joke to him. So he treats you like a joke. He doesn't take anything you say seriously. He oversteps the boundary as soon as you set it. I understand it's tough for you. I'm not going to pretend like it's not tough for you and things like that. But what I want you to understand is don't wait for the day in which he will stand up for you and start respecting you because it's the right thing to do. As long as you continue taking him back and allowing him to utilize you and take advantage of you, he will gladly continue doing that. Why would he stop? He is getting the best of both worlds. He can utilize you, get access to you, sleep with you for nothing. He can go to his girl when he feels like it. He can spend time with his girl when he feels like it. And he can discard of you when he feels like it. And then hop right back into your life when he feels like it. There is no lose for him. Why would he stop doing something when it's only benefiting him and not in no negative way taking away from his life? You're the only one getting used and abused here. Why does he care? He doesn't care about your feelings. He doesn't care about what you want. He doesn't care about what you feel. He doesn't care about what you go through. You're like a vessel for his own pleasure. That's all he cares about. I'm saying it this stern, not to be mean to you, but to pull you out of the delusion here. Because you're saying you're disgusted by his behavior, but you're still entertaining him. And you're blaming the fact that you're still here getting mistreated by him on the fact that he refuses to accept it. Refuses to accept what? That you guys have broken up? Block him on everything. Block his number, block every social media, his Instagram, his Snapchat, his WhatsApp, block any new number he could text you from. Change your number if you really have to. Block any new or fake account he tries to send you a message from on social media, right? Tell his friends if he reaches out to you on his phone, to them, block him too. That you're not going to speak to him too. Tell your family members if he tries to reach out to them, block him too, which I don't even think this guy would try to do, honestly. But I don't believe you're trying hard enough to actually get this guy out of your life. Because I truthfully feel if you really wanted to get him out of your life or not speak to him, you could do that. I think you just don't want to, and you're not able to stand up for yourself. So as soon as he, pushes a little bit or messages you a couple times, you fold. Okay? Doesn't mean you're a bad person, but when you come to me and you tell me, Tomisin, please, I'm getting treated so badly, what do I do? Well, you walk away. I, unfortunately, am just a real human being. I actually have skin, right? I'm actually a real person, not an AI. I'm also not a magician or a miracle worker, okay? So what I mean by that is I can't give you a magic potion to make your situation better with this guy. What I can do is help you control the things that you can control. So if you know you're not seeing good results with this guy and he's mistreating you, you have to walk away from the situation, point blank, period. You can't expect me or someone else to bestow upon you a magic potion or a magic pill that will turn the guy who's been disrespecting you into a guy who actually likes you and wants a relationship with you. Because clearly he doesn't care for you. In fact, he actually has all his care and his desire and his want and all of that is on another girl. So don't waste your time waiting for the day where he's going to treat you right. It's never going to come. Never. So you have a choice, Lady M. And it's a very important choice here. You have a choice to either spend the rest of your days with him and continue to be miserable and be a second-class citizen to the girl he's in a relationship with, or you can finally make a decision for you, stand up for you, and never look back. And have happiness and find someone who actually cares about you and takes the relationship with you seriously. The choice is really yours. It's not me that's going to make it for you. It's not the chat that's going to make it for you. It's not your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your best friend, no one. It's you that's got to make that decision for you. Because you know why this isn't working for you. And you know why this isn't going to work in the future. So if you choose to continue going back to you, that's your choice. Okay? All right, chat. That's the show for today. I know we went long. I'd be saying we went short and we'd be going over 2 hours. We'd be going over 2.5 hours. All right, chat. If you guys have a question for me, please make sure to send it into our premium relationship advice question section. Or if you have a private question that you want to ask me, you can also click the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description and ask me a private question. All right. For me as well. Lida says, but Tommy, do you believe that those kind of men really appreciate and care for other women? What do you mean? The kind that will have another girlfriend and then also be with you? No, they don't. And I mean, like the girl like that, in that case, she doesn't care about her. Right. And I don't think that she needs to be worried about whether or not he treats his girlfriend right. It doesn't matter. Like worry about yourself. So if he doesn't treat you right and he has another girlfriend, you just don't want to spend your time with him. Don't worry about if that guy treats other girls right. It doesn't matter. It's not relevant to you. So with that being said, you guys, can follow me on Instagram if you guys want to. My Instagram is just Tomisin_Atub. It's right on the top left of the screen there for those of you on TikTok. It's right on the bottom right of the screen there for those of you on YouTube. You can follow me and see what I'm doing at all times of the day. For those of you who are on TikTok and you want to rewatch the show because you came late or you didn't get a chance to watch some parts, whatever it may be, You can go watch the stream, the whole stream, on my YouTube channel, which is just Tomisin Atobatele. You can just type in my first name. Go to the live section. You'll see this live stream along with all the other live streams that I've done since the beginning of the time. And you'll be able to get the YouTube and the TikTok live chat embedded in the video, so you won't miss a second of conversation. It's really amazing. For those of you who are wondering what time you can catch me on stream, it's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. EST. So you got to figure out what time that is in your time zone. Until we meet again, which will be tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, a goodbye for now. Arrivederci, adios, hasta la vista, salam, ciao, sayonara, bon voyage! And I'll see you again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay? I love you so much. So much.